there.
See the Spanish org of Giants with Alito and Isma up against Jamsad and 7 SSK7.
This fight isn't going anywhere, but interesting to note they are posting up next to that volcanic vent that was added to that RV station there. There's the duo you're talking about, History and Fa, already opening with the clingers. That's what you want to do when you start pushing somebody, is keep them occupied while you start pushing and taking a position that you want.
The thing is, Camo and Issa are going to be flanking him from behind them, so the pincer move is going to be coming. But then again, History and Fa could be flanked from their northern side as well. So it looks like both these teams just going to back away, again, realizing this is a little bit too risky to force any sort of fight just now.
On the end of that second zone, you start to be way more concerned with, especially in a lobby this stacked, the lobby where 90 people are probably still up. You can't, 86, you can't take engagements as the second circle close. It's just too much.
It looks like Fax Fox and Aim Hero did actually just back off.
Take engagements.
And weren't able to get the elimination.
The second circle.
Oh
my goodness! Kinstar on the second owner.
Going for the battle for the high ground now. He's actually get blocked off here. Kinstar won't be able to get into his position. He still has the bush though to eat one of those shots. Sakoner on such low HP. Can these clingers potentially finish him off? Looks like they will not be able to land here just yet, but look how healthy Hunter and Kinstar are.
Oh, but Kinstar finds Scram, and that's the issue. Sakoner's so low. He's backing off, and Scram is by himself now in the 1v2. Sakoner is nowhere to be able to help.
I like that stink bomb though. It interrupts the extra 50 shield trying to be applied. Again, coming through the clingers as well to be used, and he just cannot get a break. Scram can't get a second to think here to get some sort of health back into this, some sort of semblance of control in this fight.
Now Scram down below. Tried to shield up a little bit, but no, actually Scram was the other one. Jamsad and SSK7 picking up Violinen and a Rift, and Windwalker, obviously. That's 2 elims for them, but what a great position they have going in the end game.
I'm actually surprised to see Scram and Sakoner with the situation they were in, with the health they had to actually survive for this long. But again, taking their time here, Hunter and Kinstar, Myth and Cloud able to eliminate the G2 guys of X8 and Razaru.
It's actually a 2v2 between the X2 twins and the G2 boys, and Razaru and his teammate ended up going down just one, but then Myth and Cloud cleaning up there. Nice.
Fa did just get dropped by Mitra in the meantime. We see the Storm Surge coming through, and Sakoner realizes, I have to make something happen now. They know where I am. He needs to get some sort of damage in, or he will be falling. Sakoner going to be coming through, 33 HP left. Kinstar gets the elimination onto Scram.
It's just all up onto Sakoner now. You saw him get beamed down right in the beginning, and Storm Surge is still active, so he's got to find something now.
Must have gotten some damage in. It looks like the Storm Surge had stopped ticking away on him. Oh, well, we're still seeing it tick in over here as we have Funk Bomb.
There, it's done now as Beehive goes down. That's the last player that needed to get down below the threshold. And now people, you immediately see as soon as Storm Surge stops, everybody relaxes.
But look at the amount of players right outside of the zone here. We have about 6-7 players currently waiting to transition. I think 72 hours had been dropped earlier on because Chap is going to be by himself.
And Saf and Zayd also coming into this chaos here. Look at this build. This looks like 3 or 4 different build fights all coalescing into one. Nate and Funk right now in the middle of it, in the thick of it.
They do have a Rift, though. I think that was on Nate. So if they want to just disengage from this, try to go for placings a little bit more, they obviously have the opportunity to do so. Now Saf and Zayt, like you mentioned before, are going to be fighting from the hillside, trying to actually attack Nero and Tyovsky towards the high ground, which I think Nate and Funk Bomb are going to be more than happy for.
Zayt and Saf using the volcano on their back to make it so nobody could shoot them from that angle. So all they have in front of them is to look at. But I don't think they realize how many players are in there. Yeah. One of the things we talked about Nate with that Rift to go. We saw in his interview, he talks about how he is he likes to get towards endgame and then play unpredictable. And you got to be able to use that Rift to go for endgame. Otherwise, you're in such a precarious position that you get forced into do things. Jamside looking for a shot with that heavy sniper.
They have over 100 builds between the two players as well, somehow able to maintain this kind of position of having so many late game builds as an opportunity.
They're so aggressive going for positioning here. You see it, they're just building forward. They're not really covering their sides and nobody taking advantage of that, but they are going to get a position in the zone. And again, still that congestion all on the right side. Look at how many players are coming right on top. This is something that you see Lolito and Isma right now taking on top of them, and then they're going to connect down just in case anybody breaks their stairs behind. This is a very common strategy. You see people are starting to knock it down, but it's, actually, they need to connect a little bit more. It's just by that one stair on each side.
The thing is, I think that's what we're seeing with these volcanic vents being added into the game. They easily become these points of interest that everyone starts to fight around because it's a free rotation. It's that free escape.
It's essentially considered center zone just by itself, right? Yeah. Even if it's on the edge, you can fly into the next zone, so you basically have it. And that's why all these players are sitting around right now still. And you can see Nate says, I have enough of this. There's too many people here. I'm just going to turtle in the zone. They go first. Nope. No challenge on them. But Liquid Chap actually going in. On to Imagine.
Corner falls as well, I believe. It's a little bit unfortunate for him.
Chap goes down as he was playing aggressive there. And that's unfortunate for him. Demo takes him out from range. Again, so many players in Kaiser as well getting shot. I believe that's from Zay and Saf. Yeah, it is. Imagine returning fire says, hey, stop. That's my teammate, man. That's my freaking teammate.
There's a lot of clingers, a lot of explosives being thrown in here. As you can see now, the damage is being done. Kaiser's going to be dropped about 20 HP. Now the Rocket's coming back from Tyovsky. Does dislodge Zay, and Saf are actually very, very low on HP. And they survive for now. Kaiser has gone down, and Magan, I don't know if he's going to be able to get the pickup here with clingers still being thrown. There's so much explosions going off in this area alone.
Yeah, Zay and Saf right now. They managed to actually, you saw Imagine was taking some shots at them, and that's going to actually pay off for Zay and Saf.
Wait, was that on top of the volcano? No. Where did that shot come from?
That was Jesse onto Tyovsky from 146 meters away. Nice shot there.
Well, next storm. Oh yeah, they were on top of the volcano. I was wondering because it looked like it came from that angle.
That's two elims from that position there. Demo is such a nice long-range shooter.
And we're going to have a lot of the zone over some lava, too, which is going to make things very, very interesting in terms of where you're going to build Tomo and items. Someone we haven't talked about too much, at least in the last game into this one. Able to get elimination onto Tux. So Tux and Provoke going to be in a rough position now as Nero and Tyovsky looking to make the move here. You can see Zay and Saf using the launch pad to get across. They do get very far ahead of them. Tyovsky actually might fall just the storm alone, but I'm imagining, yeah, actually does. I thought he was trying to heal, but he does go down.
Yeah, and now actually this flat area on the hill. Somewhat of an incline, but not too deep. You can see Nero's actually using this as advantage. Everybody rotating towards the lava.
How sick is this view?
It is actually insane. But the vents are going to cause a lot of trouble. That lava as well. If you bounce on it, you do take a damage, but you do manage to bounce as well. So people are going to need to know how to deal with it. And I'm sure nobody has really had too many of these volcanic endings yet. I talked about the hill. If this starts going up the hill, it's going to be, as Stress would say, a mountain run.
Doesn't that make it more important to already have the high ground here if it does go that way because you have control of all of those buildings already?
Yep. It's not a steep incline, so it's not like Polar Peak or anything like that, but the players who are on top, he's got to be careful. That wall behind him. Okay, the players who are on top are going to be able to manage to take shots, which is exactly what Demo and Bizzle are doing. And they're doing it to such great effect. They realize the situation. If it's going up towards this mountain, I want to be up at the top. If I am not, then I'm going to be the guy taking shots. Vivid and Poach also realizing that. Nate and Funk as well. But no, the Storm Surge comes into effect, and Nate and Funk, they need to do something, and they need to do it now.
Miz might be giving them opportunity as well, because he's right around the corner for them, though I don't think he's actually going to see him there. Malon's going to take down Mush when you can see Demo and Bizzle just looking for an opportunity. They are above the threshold, so they're going to be fine for now. But this damage being done is really starting to punish a lot of these players.
This is what I'm talking about. Here's that half in, half out zone, and it's on the mountain, so these players all start to realize, oh, what the situation is. Oh, I need to get up there, otherwise I'm going to be taking shots. Saf and Zayt as well, making their way up.
I guess one of the big differences here, I guess if you compare it to Polar Peaks, yeah, the slope's a little bit different, but you can go inside here and actually not even try to take the high ground. So you can fight from two different angles. You can have so many battles going on, and honestly, if it does go that way, I feel bad for observers because they're going to be earning their money here today. Yeah. Jamside and SSK7 still alive, though.
Going into that volcano could be so risky. You got to definitely be careful of where the next zone goes. There, Myth and Cloud as well. So many players on your screen right now. Jesse in the background as well. He's making the run.
We're about to hit that top 25. We start getting awarded points for placements, albeit just 2 for the 25th position, but 2 points is better than no points.
Again, SSK7 and Jamside, they're making a play for high ground again every single time as the half in, half out zone goes. Nice shot there on the Provoke. He goes down. Camo's still up as well. I just saw him getting the elim in the feed. Airwax as well.
Zayt and Saf, I think, a little bit low on material, too, since they've been trying to maintain this high ground for some time. You can see Demo and Bizzle going to have the ultimate high ground position for now, as SSK7 and Jamside's going to have actually a hell of a fight on them, with Demo and Bizzle above them. You got Iza and Camo next to them as well. Things are starting to get rough for this duo that we've been definitely keeping an eye on. One of the duos who has yet to actually take a victory royale. 3
more duos need to go down for the placement points to start rolling in. It's getting to that position, but no, Jamside is getting grenade launched, and that's tough for him. Spam from all sides. No, he's going to survive. He's going to get the minis off. That's so key. His teammate's still relatively healthy. No, actually, he's only at 99 or 89. So they need to do something. They need to find an elim, but Camo and Issa all the way on mid-ground. They're maybe playing for high ground. They just build up a little bit. You can see as soon as that happened, Demo and Bizzle start to react towards it. And as we see the zone, the next one is starting to move. It's going back down towards the lava. And here's the run downwards.
Demo and Bizzle running out of materials, you can see though.
Who's tracking them? It's Isla and Camo. Gotta be careful, controller gang. We saw there. He actually misses the launch pad there. That's a mistake.
Actually takes an extra 10 damage from that one, but he's going to be able to take it safely. Jamside has fallen, so SSK7 going to be by himself looking to heal up somehow. Maybe with some eliminations. A lot of players using this volcanic fence to actually get into the air to get that rotate as you mentioned before, but SSK7 is going to fall, unfortunately for him, so they're going to be out of this fight. You can see Myth is going to be down at the moment, but Cloud is still there to protect him, at least to help out potentially.
Nikov getting an Elam as well. And now there's so much to watch. Animal's still up. I saw Mitro just a second ago. Llama has 1 HP there getting out of zone. He's going to find one. And here, we can see the standings now. This is so important. Camo and Issa just outside of that top 10.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, with the compact SMG onto Maps, and you can see the crowd is going for it. And Camo takes up. No, Jesse actually goes down the zone. I thought he got him as well. Milan and Smeef. Demo and Bizzle still containing that high ground. We saw them all the way from the beginning. That top of the volcano doing so much work, and Airwax also gets another one.
You see how many players are low in HP though, so all these eliminations are going to be so important to heal yourself back up to survive long. You see Issa and Camo still on the high ground fighting against Demo and Bizzle. Airwax is going to be on the low ground as we just saw them pick up a victory before with Nikov. This is going to be crazy as you can see now. Keyless has fallen, but Bizzle and Demo are still fighting for the high ground position. Yeah,
it's finally going away from the lava now and still fighting for high ground. Actually, they're going to lose it here. Dementos and Flexi come from somewhere else. I don't see Dementos actually. Saf still up, Zate's still up as well. They're trying to get a position in zone, trying to stay put to each other. Airwax picking up another one. One build here for Bizzle. He's going to try to find somebody. There's Smeef. He's looking for it. No, Vivid goes down. No, he actually takes Saf and...
Yeah, Poach got those 2 eliminations. He's going to fall for his own trouble as well as Vivid. A little bit unfortunate. Mitro's still going to be alive there. You can still see Airwax and Nikov still looking maybe for their first back-to-back victory royales here so far in this tournament. Demo's going to be actually dethroned from the high ground. Sky's going to fall here to Bizzle, which was a much-needed elimination. But you can see there's only 10 players left to go here.
Oh my goodness, Bizzle doing all he can with this one build. Already picking up one. He almost gets another. No, Bizzle and Demo still on height. You can see Bizzle just kind of pickaxing through all these old builds. They're leeching so well, but Smeef now on top with Milan. They have 4 elims.
4 limbs. You have a lot of HP between the two as well. Demo's going to fall, or at least be knocked down for now as they're looking to make their way through. 7 people left alive here. Looking for an angle. He's looking for a shot. He's just not able to get really anything going for him as we see Black Shoe able to clean up quite a few more. Motor's going to fall. The Vic and Black Shoe going to be up against Milan and Smeef. So a 2v2 breaking down. Campfire's been thrown in as well. You would imagine Milan and Smeef are going to drop on top of them.
The minigun coming out while Milan drops down. You got to be careful though. It's a 2v2 still. So remember, if you do drop by yourself, you're going to be in trouble.
Let's see. Are they going to make the drop or are they going to hope?
Yeah,
they get some chip damage in before. Again, the minigun coming through the builds. They can be knocked down. Here's Milan actually drop first, but he gets the elimination. Gets the knockdown onto Vic, and that comes down to Black Shoe by himself. He's somehow actually able to take high ground here, but he's taking for damage from the storm. He's going to drop in, but drop into 2 players who have him in their sights. And we will see Milan the Prodigy with Smeef, who performed so well in solos on day 1, take the victory royale.
That was definitely somewhat of a misplay there in the end game, but Milan and Smeef are able to capitalize it. The perfect opportunity. As soon as that player was going up in the air trying to take high ground from him, he actually went into zone to try to build out. They both dropped down on him and were able to get that elim and make it a 1v1 or 2v1.
And that's got to feel good too, considering there's been a lot of pressure, at least in the eyes of Milan. This Prodigy, this young guy who just turned 16 like a week ago, able to get here into this tournament and perform. And he's been able to do it so far now, getting their first victory out under their belts.
Yeah, they do get that first victory royale under their belts. And as you say, a lot of expectancy on such a young shoulders coming into the tournament. But he has delivered a big victory royale coming out from Milan and Smeef there. But gentlemen, I don't even think that that's the main story to talk about, to be honest with you. So much to break down from that first game. And I think we have to go right back to the beginning and what happened there.
Zextro and Vinny, one of the first eliminated. So 0 points going to be for them. Fat Fox and Aim Hero able to do probably a lot of work that people are going to be happy about. The thing is, you got to challenge these guys. You cannot let them consistently build up a lead because they did have a 91-point lead between first and second yesterday.
Yeah, and you can see it now here on your screen. That pinch, the positional play was so good in Viking. And because they've been not on their toes, they're kind of getting put on the back foot, something that they're not expected, something that they weren't dealing with. And so a lot of players in the top 10 now are going to be very excited to see that they haven't moved at all.
Yeah, I wonder what the standings are going to be, actually. Are they going to drop out of number 1, maybe trickle down to 2, 3, or 4? I think it's very likely that actually will happen.
I didn't see any of the other top 5 or top 4 really have a great game, but guess what? Nikoff and Airwax, again, had such a fantastic game.
They did, and they keep chipping away at that lead. And that's the thing. You don't have to have huge games. You just have to keep chipping away at that lead and reducing it down, and then the pressure gets even turned up even more onto the leaders. And, I mean, we're now in a situation where whoever's in these top three is going to be thinking, I hope this doesn't happen to us. If we're dropping at the moment uncontested, all of a sudden you have a couple of players dropping with you, things can change. But before we break that down anymore, gentlemen, we should go down and hear from our winners from the last game. It's Milan and Smith.
Thanks very much, Mark. Yeah, I'm joined by Smith and Milan here, our Game 9 victors. Guys, congratulations. What a game that was. Break it down for us. That was quite the end game with Vic and Blackstep.
Yeah. I mean, it was just minigun. Minigun, so easy.
Do you think the minigun is a key bit of loot this kind of competition?
Yeah, for sure. The minigun, when you're on high ground, they can't get close because it just holds them down easy.
We're seeing a lot of teams now, as obviously people have their particular drops where they like to go usually. At this point in the competition, do you have to change up the strategy, or do you think you keep to what you know?
I mean, in both of us, in the solos and the first round of duos, we were playing it wrong. Like, our drops were fine, but we were just playing too aggressive. So now we're just avoiding all fights we can. We've rethinked our strategies, and we've got our confidence back, and we're playing well.
I've asked a lot of the players as well the last couple of days or so who they kind of are looking at across the battlefield and seeing who they are kind of like wary of and who they think are delivering a lot of this kind of tournament. Who are you kind of looking out for each time you're playing one of these rounds?
Issa and Camo, for sure. Issa and Camo have pushed us twice with stink bombs and clingers, and we've died both times. So we're just staying clear of that because their aim is insane.
Well, third time's a charm. Hopefully, third time lucky. Last year as well, I think it was 7 eliminations with you guys, as well as the Victory Royale. You're really getting those points up now. You must feel very confident going into the rest of the competition.
Yeah, finally, because we had a rocky start, so we're finally getting our confidence back. Because we've not played much before this tournament, so now we're trying to finally get used to each other, and we're doing well. So we're happy.
Well done. One more time, guys. Give it up for Smith and Milan! Game 9 victors. Congratulations, lads. Back to you, Mark. Great Game 9.
Thank you very much, Adam. Great to hear from those two guys there. Big performance from them, and a little bit of a sort of marker in the sand saying, you know, maybe not this tournament for us, but keep an eye on us moving forward, obviously.
I like that. I like that. I think that's important to go into like one of your first LAN events, your first tournaments, and just go there for the experience. Maybe not necessarily to win. Obviously, you want to win, right? But you need to learn how to play on a stage environment, adapt your gameplay mid-tournament as well.
Yeah, they weren't all the way in the back of the pack. They could still make their way up the standings, and they can get up into the prizing. We'll see where they end up. But actually, they were a last-minute invite, which was really important for Milan. He got that invite and invited Smith with him. And again, they said they don't have that much experience, but it doesn't matter for them right here. They're starting to learn, and on day 2, they're here to play.
Hey, what better place to learn than on the big stage, yeah? If you're learning here, then you can learn anywhere. But two players I want to touch on as well who seem to be some of the most dangerous players in the lobby at the moment. Issa and Camo, they seem to be, I mean, yeah, I know how to use one of those. They've been so dangerous in this, in the games that we've had today. We've seen them putting up big eliminations. We've seen them disrupting a lot of places for a lot of the teams who are expected to go into that top 5, top 3. What's making them so dangerous at the moment? I mean, we're hearing it from the players themselves.
It's that aim, just like you talked about, and the fact that not only are they controller players, they have great aim, but they are so dangerous in that endgame. That one that we just saw, the game 1 today, absolutely dominating in the mid-ground. That's not something you see a lot from players. You see people like Boyer go off every once in a while, but Camo and Issa just absolutely dominating from mid-ground. And here they were also high ground too. They really were fighting for it right next to Bizzle and Demo throughout that entire time.
I think we're also seeing that they're maybe one of the few duos that really practice this like super hyper-aggressive play towards the late game, even early game, just be hyper-aggressive the entire time. And we've seen people in the first game alone, they like to play a lot more passive. Like there was a lot of disengagements happening in the first game of the day, but they're all about holding that W key, hitting that plus forward, and going for the limbs. And you see people kind of respecting that now, realizing, yeah, they're really good. We're going to have to actually second-guess what we're doing.
Okay, then, let's talk about it. We need to talk about the drops. We need to talk about Vinny and Zextro, what's going to happen to them in this next game, because they know that they're going to be challenged at the moment. Yeah. Do they change it now, or do they go one more time and just try and win that battle?
I hope they did their research last night, because if I'm them, I don't want to be fighting every single game. I'm leaving. I'm trying to find somewhere where I don't have to fight and I don't have to take the chances, right? Those early engagements, they really are risky. right? You don't have the opportunity to get a string of elims. You only get 2 chances here. You get two people to fight. If you lose that, you got no more chances. No placement points, no elim points. I'm leaving.
You're out. He's out. What about you, Jason? Do you think it's time to change things up?
I mean, like Paul was saying, they should have changed things up last night. Like, they should have been going the same spot, knowing they would be challenged out off the get-go. And the thing is, they've been so consistent at getting these top placings over the course of yesterday, and well, not so much today, I guess a little bit more of a 50-50 with today, that you need to have those games. You could not afford, with the little bit of a lead that they did have, to get caught early on.
Well, let's check out one of the stats that we have coming in here. The top eliminations from the duos, and it's the Frenchman in the middle there, Blasu, who has 22 eliminations so far, being chased down there by Jamside and Svenos as well. But lots of eliminations, and that's putting these guys into the placement points. I mean, look at Jamside. These two guys have been playing so well today, and those eliminations probably show why they are so high up the leaderboards at the moment.
Absolutely, and you see how close it is in that top of the eliminations, but guess who's up there? It's Jamside, it's SSK7, and they have the placements as well to go with it. But that's just on their own, right? That's insane. 22 elims over 8 games now, 9 games. It's crazy. That's crazy to think about. We had, at TwitchCon, Cloak was up there after 6 games. He was at something like 22 or something, but just insane. I don't know how you can get this many elims like this. It's nuts.
It is nuts, gentlemen. That is going to do it for now for our last game. Obviously, everything's still all to play for. Everything is being changed up at the moment. We have no idea who's going to be dropping where in the next game. There's only one way to find out. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back just after this.
Thinks you can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Why are you watching me when this could be you? This is so you.
Classic you. And this could be us.
This is all waiting for you.
Хуя себе, 9 минут ждать. Окей.
Опа! The Dark Path of Righteousness. Темный путь. Куда он нас ведет?
Что это за хуетень? Ну, понятно, с ним поиграем. Похуй на этот турнир. Хочу что-нибудь просто поиграть, посидеть. Еще у друга спрошу. Когда это обоссанная мышь? Когда обоссанная мышь мне уже приедет. Так. Все, написал. Так, погнали, посмотрим, что у меня есть в стиме. Так, вот это сделаем. Какие игры? Heart World? Нет, не хочу пойти в него. Не хочу. Это нет. Что это? Нет, это точно не пойду. Я не знаю, в какую можно игру пойти. Или погнали в Heart World 3. Сходим по рофлю. This is so easy. Все появилось. Какие сироки есть? Можно только даже поискать. Сейчас. Good. Выпилим. Где good просто, ну, x ut будет. Здесь там x5, x10. Good будет четко. Так, а можно делать бабу с бородой? Ля какая. У вас будет лысая баба. Бороду-то нельзя. Мне интересно. Не, мы белые, мы берем черных. То есть, ну да, африканцев. Мы же все-таки выживаем. О, ля какой, ля. Хавк. Ну это тупо вожак. О. С таким челиком даже не стыдно воевать. Нормально около Редтауна. Шопаки там. Кит. Валай, кит. Старт, я думаю. Ну, типа норм. Я хочу нормальные камни. Нет, это сглаживание. Сглаживание я не хочу. Вот это. Потата мод. Я вообще не туда бегу. Вижу челиков. Ага. Брат пропал. На, сука. Получи. На нахуй. Ля, сколько залутал. Ну как бы херню для вертолета мне залутал. Мотор. Да ну мы сейчас сможем уехать отсюда. Бензина нету. У меня только вертолетный бензин. Или он сюда можно? Нет, его сюда нельзя. Понятно. Ясно нахуй. Что это? Что это нахер? Может быть, это марихуана? Мне кажется, это марихуана. Нет, это не раз, это херт ворот. А, это саженцы. Нихуя. Что мне для него не хватает? Так, пропеллер есть. Ну и все. И топливо. Прикольно. Я вообще не умею стрелять. О, иди нахуй. А ну, блядь, она. Да как нахуй тут стрелять? Пизду тебя. Аутист тупой с пистолетом. Да-да. Удачи тебе, брат. Я тебя убью нахуй. Где? 11 минут. Что такое кит-сос? Ля. Мне это вообще не надо было. Если я это просру, я тильтану. Мне срочно нужен какой-нибудь пистолет. Сейчас с лука я вообще не умею стрелять. Ты чё, по-любому есть оружие. Бай-бай. О, машина. У меня для неё мотор был. Иди нахуй. Иди гуляй. Да хоть какое-нибудь оружие. Любое. Что, много что ли прошу? Какая марихуана нахер? Да, патроны. Вот упал. Это молоток, им драться можно? Нет, им драться нельзя. Что? Прикольно. Я ему сейчас пойду его побью. Вот, мне нравится. Еще один винт для вертолета. Прикол, прикол. Кажется, челик меня еще убьет. У меня потому что топор есть. У меня просто ни одного оружия нет. Дайте хотя бы копье, я не знаю, мне похер. Как туда забраться? Если бы сейчас отсюда упал бы, я бы разбился. Здесь уже 2 человека. Что вы от меня хотите? Я знаю, как туда попасть. Разобьюсь, так разобьюсь. Да похер. До того. Я ногу сломал. Думаю, что бегать-то не могу. Я вообще упал бы, одного из них бы просто молотком прибил. Бай-бай. КамАЗ идет. Fucking идет. Вам еще не надоело, аутисты? Идиоты, блядь, сраные. Боже, дудики. Боже. Я не могу это говно играть. Долго. Она после косаря будет очень быстро. $700. Ну, что остановилось? $900. Косарь, наконец-то. Так она и сейчас медленно идет. Прикольно. Круто. Значит, еще долго ждать. Спасибо за подписку. Thank you. Спасибо, Алик. Суба, что это было? Субкрай. Подожди. Ну это обычная подписка. Че он тут? Ты же был подписан. Кого? Ну давай быстрее. Дауны. Да. Идиоты. Во, вот это вот топ. Помповые дробовики. Погнали. Да ну, бля, как они так с этого дробовика стреляют? Алкоголик. По-любому это он меня убил. Блять, упал.
Thinks you can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Why are you watching me when this could be you? This is so you.
Classic you. And this could be us.
This is all waiting for you! PS4 for the players!
You have always wanted me. Dance to where we go. Dance to where we go. Speak to me, now speak. And words that
Меня зовут Сергей. В клинику попал благодаря своей жене. И опять же, дай ей бог здоровья, низкий поклон. Она нашла это в интернете. Алкостоп 24. Попали сначала первый раз, думали, ну, какой-то лохотрон. Я буду говорить просто, ребят. Думали, как какой-то лохотрон. Но когда я сюда попал, я нисколько не пожалел. Да, возвращался еще раз неоднократно, но это, к сожалению, моя проблема. Здесь психотерапевт есть, которые всегда подсказывают.
ESL Katowice Royale, featuring Fortnite, is brought to you in part by Intel, HyperX, and PlayStation 4.
Welcome back again, ladies and gents, to the ESL Katowice Royal. And Game 10 is just around the corner. We've only got 4 rounds of competition left today before we crown our final duos champion. So make sure you don't go anywhere. It's going to be a very good time. Now, we've had a lot of fun so far the last few days with Season 8, but we thought we'd ask our players, is there anything that you miss from previous seasons? Let's take a look.
If I could bring back one item, I think it would be the drum gun. I love that thing. It was so good, especially for a controller because we have aim assist, so it was just so strong, it was so deadly. It's really fun to use.
I'd say the bolt sniper. They took it out last season, I think, and thought that was my favorite gun, so it'd be nice to come back.
What do you say? The drum gun?
I would say drum gun. It's too OP, but it's the most fun.
Yeah,
drum gun is really fun.
The sound of it.
Yeah, it's just really nice to do.
Yeah.
Shockwave for sure. The shockwaves are definitely like they seem like they were balanced. You wouldn't find too much of it, but it was another rotation item, which meant something good to use in late game.
Yeah, I agree.
An extra pump.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was. People actually called me Jarl Double Pump back in the day, so yeah, that would be my item choice.
I will probably bring back the tactical SMG. I really loved it because it was shredding people, and also if you had a good aim, you could get every single headshots on someone. So probably a tactical SMG.
Bouncers, because they were skill based. The quad launcher, so I can vault it again. C4.
Top song.
I'd bring back the Tommy gun, just because, like, when you shoot your pump shotgun and then switch to the Tommy gun, it's basically over with them. It's just 4 headshots in a row and then just delete them again.
Yeah, I'd bring the drum gun back as well because it's just so good, such a good swap weapon.
The one item I bring back is the TAC SMG. It was probably my favorite weapon. It was just a laser beam. It was so fun to use.
All right then, guys, a lot of love for the TAC SMG there. We can see the things that all these players want to get their hands on at the moment. It's two beautiful trophies, just waiting for the winners of our Duos tournament at the end of today. But Martin, I mean, what do you miss from previous seasons? You had to bring one thing back.
Did you hear? Jarl Double Pump.
Okay.
I miss it too, man. I miss the double pump. I miss so much damage. I mean, it's fun using the double pump, but it's not really fun getting smacked by it.
Getting double pumped.
Yeah, double pumped.
Depends on what end of that you're on, I guess.
Sorry?
Fun if you're the one doing it.
Yeah.
Really annoying if you're the one having it done to you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you bring back the drum gun so that you could actually hit some people, but, you know, that's all fine. We'll leave that one there. Anyway, round 11, just around the corner, Jason. Let's talk about this one because the rounds that we've had so far today have really mixed things up as far as the standings are concerned, but we should reiterate again that they are holding on to this top spot, and they are doing such a good job. And, I mean, Zexro's been a little bit quiet today. Vinny's been a bit unfortunate with what's happened in a few of the games, but you just feel there's a big game around the corner here for them, and if they can put in a big performance now, this would really solidify their place at the top of the leaderboard.
Well, I mean, these two players on your screen just now, Saf and Zayt, they're the ones that are really looking to keep this first place now because they've been able to finally dethrone them. But it's whether or not they can keep the momentum going.
Well, round 11 is about to get underway. We are getting down to business now, gentlemen. Let's get into this one.
So, Martin, you've been watching all the games today. We've been seeing a lot of struggle out of two specific players, which I don't even need to say their name for everyone out there to probably know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, so Vinny, Zexro.
Okay. Oh, I didn't want to say their names because, you know, but that's fine.
I do.
Those were the players I was mentioning.
Kind of falling off a little bit, yeah, as we've seen. They do really need to pull it together now if they want to stay in top 5 or, yeah.
So then we heard everyone's thoughts. We heard Speedy and Bala talk about, you know, changing up your positions. What's your thoughts on that, about preparing to play a different spot?
Right, so since we have 2 days now, we have 14 rounds. I mean, after the first day, you do. I would suspect people. I would expect people to go, players to go into VODs and like start doing some counter plays. So that's something you have to bear in mind. You do have to adapt not only to the meta, but also to what other players have in mind.
This looks familiar.
Oh, look at this. So yeah, Vinny Zexro versus Aim Hero and FaxFox again.
I think you can see those Zexro and Vinny are ready and prepared to fight here, trying to build up some materials. Look at that compact SMG picked up. A hand cannon for Vinny is able to make his way through into a couple more items out of that chest. They know a fight's coming. They know they have to be prepared for this. But yeah, will they win this? If they lose this fight somehow again, I'd say they're out of top 5.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you might get a little bit tilted, but keep it together. Try to make the best of it. I'm surprised they lost high ground here.
Zexro kind of by himself here. You can see the push coming through. Aim Hero trying to close in this distance, trying to actually maybe get a build around to go for him. You can see Vinny trying to support him from long range with the AR. Not a lot of damage being traded, but Zexro's got no shields left and has to be very careful. He's able to retreat back away to Vinny.
Trying to get some mats here, Vinny and Zexro, before the fight actually starts. It's a little bit of a standoff here, taking it really cautious. Aim Hero and FaxFox they've been really aggressive previously, so I expect to see them pushing up pretty soon. And yeah, as we see, FaxFox is trying to get the upper hand here.
He only has 6 builds though, so he's going to have to be careful here. He's trying to hand cannon away and constantly force the builds to come through. Drops his AR. Maybe Zexro is going to go back and pick this one up. You can see FaxFox with only 2 builds. So again, a lot of time. Like every second you're not doing something here is really important. By the way, just really quickly, Nick, Mercs, and Aiden have fallen to the Gamer Origin boys, so not going to go their way.
Yeah, we see that Aiden previously ranked 42, not looking too good. Aiden is knocked down. Yeah, we have Mercs. Let's see if he can clutch this out. Oh, doesn't seem like it.
I guess I jumped the gun a little bit saying they got eliminated, but the second I saw Aiden down, I felt like it wasn't going to go their way in the end. So they pick up 2 quick eliminations. But back to the fight here. FaxFox is being tagged up very heavily. He's below 1 HP. You can see the hand cannons coming through, trying to knock down this wall, trying to punish him. He does get the small shield off in time, though. And now being shot from behind. That's a third party. That's over from the west-hand side.
All right, so Aim Hero going down here, and with the finish from Zexro as well.
It's not over yet, though. FaxFox is still here, and FaxFox is just gunning for them. A couple of shots from the high ground. You gotta be worried about that third party yet again towards the western side of the map. FaxFox just trying to heal up in the meantime. And you can see, trying to get back up to that 75 health before he does go for some sort of fight. He's going to be knocked down. He's going to be careful. He does eventually get away, only taking about 30 damage to his shield. And Vinny's looking for the closer. He wants this elimination.
Trying to fall back here. FaxFox not looking good at this point.
Oh, he knows where he is.
Really wants to, takes down the roof there.
Yet somehow he's still able to stay alive and escape. But there he goes. Zexro comes through, and that's the start that we needed to see Zexro and Vinny have. They want to challenge back for that first place position.
Yeah, the revenge is there, and at this point, they're looking pretty good. They're probably really happy with that right now.
Fallen History, by the way, we just saw them over towards Salty. They changed up their drop from Paradise Palms over to here, so maybe they didn't want to go up against Jam Side and SSK7 yet again. So again, seeing some adaptations in terms of how they're playing. Be a player up to the north as well. I'm not sure who that's going to be, but there's potential for that third party to come in.
So might be a split drop. Those have been pretty popular now, at least yesterday. Not quite sure about today, though. I've seen players sticking together way more today because staying a bit more cautious as much is on the line, and we're just a few games away from ending the day.
Yeah, we are, but every game is more and more crucial as we've seen the standings constantly shape up. So Airwax and Nikov actually backing away from a fight here as Smeeth, I think he lost out Milan earlier on, so that's going to be unfortunate for him to try to get some points back on the board as they're closing in on a top 15. Zayt and Saf able to get the victory over towards Loot Lake, able to get elimination apiece.
Pretty scary spot to be, though. But yeah, 2 eliminations here. Looking really good with the inventory. Does pick up the pump as well. Abandons the attack over there. Really like that. Not a big fan of the attack. With the shield in his inventory as well. Like I said, looking pretty good. Now just have to make their way out of here and decide on a proper rotation. Look at this map.
Yeah, tell us about it here. We do have a lot of players here towards Sunny Steps, about 4 who have a long rotation to come through, but I'm sure they're going to be fine nonetheless. I think Paradise Palms will be, yet again, going the way of the VP guys here. Jam side and SSK7 having no contention this time, so I would imagine they have a much better start here than they had before, though credit to them with the way the circles did work out. They didn't have to move from that location.
We see Via, Linen and Windwalker here. Has not really been able to pull it together too much. We've seen a couple of good games from them, but if they do want to climb up the leaderboard, they do have to make some changes soon. Max Aliber here with Keolis, looking really good in this inventory. A lot of mats, epic pump, and a rift to go, and a couple of clingers.
So just train a couple of items here between these two. See back up to that 200 HP for Windwalker. And the Drift Boys are easily able to rotate back around where they do need to. I almost want to see them be like a hunting crew with these, you know? Look for a fight, take it. Obviously, they need to have some big games if they want to have a chance to break through into the money.
Yeah, that's right, but we'll end up just using them for rotation by the edge of the map here. So looking at a more passive playstyle. Not really sure if they do have that damage for the first couple of Storm Surges, however.
Look at this 72 hours in trap, trying to stick together towards Dusty, trying to get towards that center side where we've seen Bizzle and Demo. Actually, it was Bizzle mostly in the solos going. Kaiser now being shot up. Ooh. Actually, Iza should be the one saying he's actually being shot right now, being tagged extremely low in HP. Chap, in the meantime, gets the down onto Tixi. He's looking for the finisher on Mushway.
Yeah, not looking too good here for Mushway. Trying to hide in here in the little building. Ooh, Klinger's going inside. What are you going to do at this point? I mean, you could do some building here, but not looking too good at all.
I almost want to say knock down one of these walls, have a clear angle. You can see them now pinstering from both sides, and that's what you do. That's why they're so good, right? They have the situation in a 2-on-1. Meantime, Issa and Camo, 2 players we've been looking at a hell of a lot when it's come to today. With the 13 eliminations they did get, are actually getting shot quite a bit here by a third party.
I believe there's to go to use. I believe there's 2 teams here actually third partying, so yeah, I might want to bunker up here and just.
Especially be the Gamer Origin guys.
Oh yeah.
And Miz from Tilted, since they won that up against Ada and Nick Merckx, I would imagine.
Здорово, Ваня. Go в Minecraft.
Bring that shield back up and just hold out. You don't really want to engage in a fight right now as the third party is imminent.
So we definitely have to pay attention to Kripa and Boyer as they're currently 2 points behind first place. The first time they'd be able to overthrow that. And these 2 players have yet to get a victory royale as well. It was Jamside and SSK, the other 2.
Денчейни.
Consistency they've been.
Я турик смотрю. Go в Minecraft. Что, Ваня? Нет, не буду. Заходи в Дискорд, бесишь. Чмо.
They're just saying, all right, we don't want any of this fight. We're going to just transition to Tilted. Maybe we'll fight the winner of this later on as you guys have to come towards us, towards these next circles. Kripa and Boyer currently in second place up against the Aussie boys of Jesse and Jordan. And they have their location. Again, they have a pretty decent kit here. 2 launch pads. Again, their cleanup in terms of weaponry and their kit has been phenomenal over the last game and this one.
I actually think that's 4 launch pads spread across 2. So, and Rift to go on top of that. So looking really good for them. They have the 2nd place on the leaderboard. All they have to do right now, I mean, taking some metal here, farming up some metal, and just looking for third-party situations.
I think that's something that a lot of people forget about is if you're not farming and you're not hitting anyone, then you're really losing time that you cannot get back. You're not able to, nice little shot there with the scope pistol. But you're losing time, you know, because the materials, you had 100. But we saw how important it is at that late game to have enough materials to build. Oh, another 84. Got to stop challenging on this one. Madsen's been able to actually not chop in the meantime. And it looks like they want to push this one. They got a lot of damage done, but they still have a lot of distance to cover.
I like that. Using the zip line to avoid any fall damage. Instead of sliding down a mountain, just use the zip line, drop down, and no damage there. It does spot a big shield as well, and a Venomous shield with big shield, so looking better and better for these guys.
Storm Surge, though, come into effect. Nikoff and Airwalk is going to be under some fight. Zeke and Poverty been relatively quiet today. Looking to be a little bit louder now as we're spraying down on Nikoff. He's down to about 40 HP and dropping quick as he's actually going to heal up in the meantime. Does get knocked down from this one. Airwalk has to somehow pull off a major clutch here to take these 2 down or get this res back up. Pick Nikoff so we can fight another time.
I'm not quite sure if he'll be able to pick them up.
Pushing
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see that. Well, popping some shields first, making sure you're safe. They do know that there is a 3rd team around, so might want to stay a bit cautious here. They are ranked 4th on the leaderboard, so a lot's at stake. They gotta take it slow. I like it.
And we talk about third party, but it's just Tux. Provoked is not in the fight. And Tux maybe wants to clean this up. Actually, you can see they're going for the pickup here, trying to edit his way through. This could be huge. This could be 2 eliminations. Actually, Provoked is alive. He's just not near him. He's finally going to be coming in from the southern side of him. And they know they can just wait this one out. I feel like they should almost jump in here, get this elimination on their side, and then get the 5 points. You should almost have the 2nd one as well. The Storm's going to be here, and it looks like they're just going to back away and give this up.
Yeah, he's not quite sure if he's been picked up already. Oh, he knows. Finds the edge.
Ooh. This should be clean. This should be clean. You have your teammate there. Gets with the elimination. And Provoked and Tuxton get 2 on the board, so a big win for them. Also, the Chug Jug to use here, too. So back up to the 200 HP. They should be able to rotate with relative ease here, Martin.
Yeah, they don't really have too far to travel. They have that Chug Jug. Looking really good. Violin and Windwalker still in the game. Has high ground here on the mountain.
Item and Tomo, though, those 2 players we've not really been able to talk about a lot. They've been kind of ninjing their way through in the leaderboards, but the last couple of games, they've definitely not stood out at all, and that's unfortunate because this is the time. With only 4 rounds left to go, you have to stand out and make a name for yourself.
Yeah, and I really expect players to be way more aggressive at this point to get those extra points from the eliminations and maybe just snowball your way to the end game to get a lot of points, which we saw a bit earlier. Ooh, look at that. Kuna going down in the actual feed.
Kuna actually got knocked by Animal, actually, so third party actually, which ends up helping Zayt and Saf out. They actually got a little bit lucky there with someone shooting from the distance. Gemside and SSK7, another duo we've been looking at quite a bit. They're going to be stinked up here, but they're going to be fine. And Item and Tomo a little bit further away.
So going down here, right outside the points, everybody's doing whatever they can to stay alive for the 25 placement threshold for those points. But being ranked 9 and going down this early is not something you'd like to see. But still, there's a couple of games left. You can still pull through. And here we see a lot of players down. We see Nikoff Airwalks down. Eric is also down, but Motor's still alive. Hoopek and Skix, also a couple of players that we haven't really seen a lot of, but yeah.
Yeah, they were the duo to look out for when it came to talking to all the Polish players in the Polish edition just last week here at the Katowice Royale. And they've not been able to really compete up against, I think there's no BM behind it, but a tournament with higher caliber players. The best in the world here competing here in Katowice.
Yeah, there's definitely been some really high gameplay going on. We see Zeke here down right by the rift. Didn't quite make it through. I believe his teammate did get through though, and History will here just recycle the rift.
I wonder if Poverty got through, and then right as Zeke was running to get into the rift, he got caught.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah,
that's really unfortunate. You see Miz and Jules there, the winners of Tilted Towers earlier on against Aiden and Nick Merckx, still going to be there alive and fighting. Boyer and Kripa. They got Myth here off to the side. They got Nate and Funk Bomb as well. This is going to be such a tough fight with a lot of plays here. They do have the pump and nice little hand cannon on top of things, and the clingers. They still have 8, 7, 6 left. Clinger, 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 easy. As you see the walls being torn down, but still no damage being done.
Making good use of the clingers here. They were looking really good with inventory, but running a bit low on mats, so they might want to use any explosives or any material, any sort of option they can do to actually get more mats and progress further into late game.
Myth's trying to hold on, maybe try to play a little bit of a spoiler. She has to hope that one of these two teams get aggressive against each other. I would imagine that's not going to be happening. Still 36 duels left, 67 players. Boyer and Kripa. I want to keep an eye on their inventory because they had such a phenomenal layout. And as I was talking with Speedy before, like the double RPGs, the launch pads they had, they were equipped out the neck. But they weren't able to get the victory.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Inventory isn't everything. Sometimes you can be out-trumped by gameplay. And look at this tilted circle. A lot of players have already claimed a bunch of houses, replacing those walls, getting extra material. So being first into tilted here is very, very nice.
You're going to see the amount of shots coming in from different angles when you're trying to transition. Boyer and Kripa. Myth, I believe, got eliminated here then, unless he ran a little bit earlier on when he had a window of opportunity.
Yeah,
so Flexi and Demento's going to be here too.
So I did see Myth. I'm not really sure I saw Cloud. Yeah, Myth is right there. His teammate Cloud, however, is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he's eliminated already.
Yeah, so he's just camping it out and hoping no one really spots him or notices that he is alone. 7 SSK7 here, currently ranked 5th with his teammate, and yeah, we see a lot of things going on here. Players have to rotate out of tilted, which is kind of hard because there is a mountain there. There's a lot of players who've claimed a bunch of buildings, so you don't really know where the action might be coming from.
You see the high ground being contested here from South Koreans of Envy and Sinu. Yeah, SSK7 and Jam side trying to get their own little tower built up here in Tilted. Really look at all these transitions in Tilted, people moving, because now the people who were in the city are having to move up towards this northwest side.
Yeah, so many players on the southeast side here. It's really hard to make a rotation in here and actually making it. The worst possible outcome right now would be for the circle to make it further up northwest, and if you don't have any mobility, you're in big trouble.
Well, Myth is still here fighting. You see Lil J too, who, you know, the Chinese team, the Chinese duo that we do have here hasn't really been able to stand out. I think the only region that's really been able to stand out was Brazil for the most part, and of course, the Aussie boys, they've been able to take a victory out for themselves. We can see the bottle rockets coming in now. And towards the high ground, Milan and Sweep, we got a victory just earlier on in round number 9. Who had a really good place in the last game. Looking to do it yet again here.
Yeah, we see Provoked here being down. Let's see if Tux can pick him up before players notices. See Jordan being down here. Looks like the other team's trying to go for a finish here. See if Jesse can pick him up. Not quite sure if that's going to happen though, as a lot of players are rotating through just this area.
Provoked has been down. Jordan is still somehow alive in the corner of his little hut. Jesse's going to push up here to try and maybe look for the limbs so he can get the safe pick. Or maybe he realizes there's no way I'm going to be able to get my teammate, my brother, quite literally here, up and running into this to continue on their fight for a top 10 finish, or even top 25. I guess I jumped the gun here saying 10 when there's still 34 duos left.
Really good positioning here by Windwalker and Violin, and they do have a lot of materials. Look at X8 and Raz. No materials. Raz will split his mats, however, but there's only 300 mats split. Not looking really good here. They do need to push through, but they're just being guarded by Windwalker and Violin, and here is looking really good in this inventory. They can just stay here forever as they have a lot of mobility.
X8 pushed in for Jordan. He's going to finish him off here. Good limb for them. Poach has fallen. Actually, a lot of players. Smeeth can actually get himself, X8, on the transition here to go for Jordan, will fall. And now Razaru's trying to pick him up. Windwalker's actually providing a lot of cover. Actually, well, not cover, he's actually providing a lot of pressure onto him as they're trying to get this pick up another time. And now Valiant and Windwalker's going to push in for this. You know they want to close this out.
Beautiful hit there. Just clean, straight going. Oh, what's going on here? Windwalker's going down?
Yeah, there's another party in there coming in, and definitely a party indeed, as it looks like the limbs have finally slowed down here. Animal's going to fall. Nate Bomb on 1 elimination. You see Kinzo and Villex, Fa in History. I would love to see Fa in History have a fantastic game here. They did just rift out of this. I think Funk Bomb might be trying to transition in here to use it on top of things.
It looks like Funkbomb is alone here. Circle is on the north side, which I expected and was pretty scared about. Look at Staff and Sage, yeah. 5 eliminations, inventory looking very stable, a lot of materials. They do have the launch pad, shields, and that epic pump.
I think it's 5 limbs this early on, and I say early, but considering how the games have gone, is actually massive. Just think of how many limbs they can get. If they can get that high ground when we get into the moving storms, into those moving circles, we can see the supply drop coming in here. It looks like it'll be going over to Nate and Funkbomb. Sap and Zay do get another one on the board, up to now 6. Myth, unfortunately, has fallen, but he did stay alive for a hell of a long time and did make his way through into the top 25. So some points being awarded to them, considering he was basically by himself. That's definitely a big work being done. And then again, you have Envy and Sinu still maintaining high ground control. But now, Martin, we have our first zone moving, and this is where things are to get hectic.
And it's way far northwest. And looking at most of these players' inventories, I'm expecting to see a lot of action going on now as people are running pretty scarce on materials. There are these teams who has a lot of it, so I'm expecting to see a bunch of third-partying from high ground as people are trying to rotate. But just look at this, Boyer and Crip at 2 eliminations, still looking pretty better with their inventory now than we saw a few minutes ago.
Yeah, they've been able to clean up something there to give some quick upgrades. You see Vinny and Zexro have been able to make their way through to the top 25 for the first time in, well, this is the 3rd game for them. Sinu is unfortunately going to fall as a Storm Surge coming back and says, look at Jam's side. He's like 500 damage above the threshold. He has 4 limbs himself. Zexro with 3, Vinny with 2, looking to really show that they deserve to be #1 yet again, which they might be able to pull off here. In the meantime, Sap and Zay have gotten the high ground. Item and Tomo might flank behind them, though.
Yeah, Windwalker and Villain, and they are by the edge of the zone here, looking pretty good, moving up, but a lot of players are flying in right now, recycling those launch pads put down by someone, not quite sure who it was. You see Llama go down, Mies, History, Restart going down as well.
Paul still looking for the elimination. Saf gets another, so I think this will take their total up to 7. This is looking good. This is actually a big game for a lot of teams out there. Jam side and SSK7 looking to stop the rot here and somehow eliminate Saf and Zay. We're looking to lengthen that lead as they're currently sitting in first place. You can see them still with the high ground control. The question is, how long can they maintain it here with the materials they have? Tomo and Item playing from the middle ground. They've been able to sneak their way through into an almost top 10 position another time. 7 limbs and counting here for Saf and Zay. I'm curious if they can keep this going. If they can keep this up, they're looking at a massive game.
Looking at this circle making its way back now from where it previously came, they will, Saf and Zay will probably maintain high ground and save materials in the process. Boyer and Crippa here, it has to start moving now as the zone is moving, but we'll use the launch pad to their advantage.
Oh, might get shot out of the sky though. A little bit of skeet shooting here for Saf and Zay. Crippa just got knocked too. He just got knocked out of the air. I think that was from Saf and Zay. I didn't see you actually pick that one up, but I think Vinny's the one actually closed out the elimination on that. So just feeding that free limb over to them. 8 now for Saf and Zay as Saf was the one to take down Crippa. They still have high ground. The materials is running low though here, Martin. This is where things get really hectic for them.
Yeah, we might see them start pushing on like that pretty soon here. Demento's going down. Someone has been doing really well so far. Saf and Zay just kings off high ground. Look at that. Beautiful shot, and won't stop there. 9 eliminations, and this is just amazing right now.
9 limbs and still 13 for fine for them if they want to close this one out and take a phenomenal lead. Zexro and Vinny, we still are on the low ground at the meantime. You can see Vinny low on HP. Zexro's trying to lead the charge a little bit further on. Windwalker and Valen has actually been able to sneak their way through at both full HP too. Kinzel has just recently been dropped, and Zay and Sap, I wonder how much longer they can hold on to this because they've been using so much materials invested into this, so locking down this position. Now up to 10.
10 eliminations, and as we saw, Vinny,
can I get an 11? Will 11 come through? Sap, I think you just put him up to 11. There we go. Can they continue this pace? 11 left in the lobby. 11 limbs for them already. They still have the high ground. They're even using their opponent's materials to their advantage to maintain the spot. Can they continue this kind of pace here, Martin?
I believe so. They're just on a roll right now, and they can just keep it up. Not a lot of materials, but might just start to jump down soon and keep those eliminations going.
Well, to rate them and going, they don't need materials. They just need limbs up to 11. And 11, again, still left in the lobby as the circle will be going back over the direction they've already used. And this is perfect for them because they can use what they've already built. They don't have to invest any more materials into this. Looking at Zexro and Vinny, they've been unable to get an elimination in the last 2 minutes, but they are still alive, still fighting. 7 duos left to go here. Saf and Zay looking for number 12. Can they do it? Can they surpass Crippa and Boyer on that 13 mark?
Item and Tom are just trying to stay there, with, trying to bunker up. Satan Sap just with a dream circle and just applying pressure after pressure. And ooh, look at that.
Zexro and Vinny under a lot of pressure. As you can see, the shots coming through. They're up to 6 limbs. They're trying to get the down in this one. Windwalker has fallen. and that's going to be Alpha actually to get the elimination on Vinny. And Vinny's now out of this one. So now Saf and Zate, if they can pull this off, if they can stay alive for these next 6 eliminations, these next 4 eliminations, then they're going to have such a massive lead over their opponents who have been able to maintain that #1 spot for about 10 games running. They have 12 elims now with 3 players left to find. It's a 2-on-2-on-1. Alpha towards the low ground. Item and Tomo have yet again stuck their way through. They're going to be closed in on this one. They jump down to try to go for the 2v1. They will be successful, but now it's a 2-on-2, and they have to fight from low.
And I don't believe we've seen such a 2v2 here with the zone going back and forth. So many buildings going on, and the circle is just getting smaller and smaller.
Rift to go being used so they can try to maintain this. Actually catches on to pretty much everyone here. Saf going to be on the low ground though by himself. Zate immediately dives through. The campfire, I believe, was used. You can see Zate trying to heal up as long as possible. Tomo has fallen. Tomo is not going to be able to survive. 8 plus 5 is what? That's 13 eliminations and a victory royale here.
I believe that's the first heal-off we've seen in this tournament so far.
I love that play because I think there was Saf who sat on the low ground during this with the campfire, realizing if I just tag them up as they're falling with the Rift to go, then we can get this under our belt super easy.
Do you think he planned to grab them with the Rift to go to get them caught up in the storm as his teammate was healing?
For the sake of the argument, I'll say yes. I think that was totally... After what I saw yesterday with the jump down, catching the zip line to stop himself from taking fall damage, I'm going to say that was for sure intentional.
Well, I'm sure we'll be able to find out, gentlemen, when we hear from them after that. But congratulations to Saf and Zate. 13 eliminations as well as the victory royale, excuse me. Huge points on the board as well. But I need to give a shout out to the initial battle that was won this time by Vinny and Zextro. So they got towards that end game, points on the board for them again. We're going to see some changes again in these leaderboards. It's certainly going to be exciting to see how those duos are starting to shape up. But gentlemen, I mean, we are seeing these games become more nerve-wracking because of the points that are involved, because of how tight everyone is. But that's a huge performance for 2 players who have been consistent throughout the duo competition.
We've had 18 rounds over the course of these 3 days. And that was the first time we've seen someone be able to take a second victory royale. They won game 1, and now they've won game 11. They seemed calm after we interviewed them after the first game, saying, yeah, it was just easy. It's like playing at home, not a big deal. And they've finally been able to do it yet again and able to, more importantly, beat Vinny and Zextro to lengthen that lead that they did have.
They had pretty much everything on their side in that end zone as well, Martin. I mean, they kind of had the game in their hands, but break down that final zone for us a little bit more.
I mean, just look at it. When a zone goes back and forth and you already have high ground, it's the perfect thing that can happen, especially when you're running low on mats. Yeah. You can just keep using your old existing buildings and just make it back and forth while you apply pressure to the people below you.
You know what? I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about that final fight. I think he 100% did use the Rift to go on purpose. So. He dropped on top of him, he knew he was there, and he's like, okay, I'm going to use this, I'm going to take you with me, and then hope that Saf can hit the shots. I think that was, forget 200 IQ. That was a 400 IQ play.
Yeah, 400, if not 500.
Okay, now we're just throwing IQs around. I don't want to ever meet someone who's got a 500 IQ. It'll make me feel so dumb. But anyway, let's talk about how that's going to sort of shape things up a little bit, gentlemen, because as I say, Vinny and Zextro, points on the board, placement points on the board, a few limbs to go alongside that as well. But I think, I mean, the difference between first and second was very tight.
2 points between Boyer and
exactly. So
and Saf and Zate.
All of these things are going to make changes to the leaderboard, but I think we need to hear from the winners of our last game. There is, of course, Saf and Zate.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm here with Saf and Zate. Our Game 11 winners, make some noise! Guys, I mean, we've been chatting just there before you came to us. 13 eliminations in that last game, consistent throughout. You must be top of the world right now. This is insane.
Yeah, we got not lucky on loot early on. We got like really bad loot, no mobility, and we just got center circle. And some people had to get in our boxes because of the storm surge, and we were lucky enough to just like one-pump both of them, and they give us like all the loot we needed for like the rest of the game.
Now I'm looking at I'm hearing my ear as well, guys. We're getting a quick score count as well. You are now 92 points in the lead, boys. Yes, let's go. Saf, that must be music to your ears.
Yeah, for now, still 3 games left, though. Gotta keep it consistent throughout.
I mean, the entire competition, obviously, we talked to you guys yesterday. You won one of our first games, if not our first game yesterday. Have you kept the strategy exactly the same from the get-go, or have you changed things up and adapted?
First game was like for us to adapt because we're from like North America and the whole play style is really different. So we learned throughout the tournament that you need to avoid like a lot of people, and that's what we're doing.
I mean, we saw there in the last, like the end game there as well, like Vinny and Zextro, some big players in the top 5 are there with you guys. Are you always conscious that those other players, those other teams are right on your coattails, or do you kind of put it out your mind?
Say that again. The last.
Just, do you always kind of think about the players around you, the ones in the top 5, thinking that they're just behind you, or do you kind of put it out of your mind and just do what you do best?
It gets pretty hectic down to the end, but so you can't really look at the kill feed, but you always have it in the back of your mind most of the time. So yeah.
Well, they're 92 points in front. You guys keep doing what you're doing, and these could be yours. Zay, it was your birthday yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Let's get some belated birthday messages in the chat. That'd be great. He deserves it. I mean, come on, they're top of the leaderboard. One more time, your Game 11 winners. It is Zay and Saf. Make some noise! Good job, boys. Back to you guys. Unbelievable. 13 eliminations. What? Amazing. Amazing stuff.
13 eliminations, a 92-point lead. Where has that just come from, gents?
Well, the 13 eliminations
and the
first place
Royale.
finish. I mean, that's how the numbers do work. I know you said if you met someone with 500 IQ, you'd feel bad, but maybe just someone with normal IQ.
Someone with an IQ.
Yeah, with any IQ.
Yeah.
But no, that's like the thing is, you could have those breakaway games, and we talked about a ton during the post edition. Consistency is great, but consistency won't get you that trophy there on the stage. And having a breakout game like that can easily have just won them the whole thing.
I mean, look, sorry, Mike, just bringing up the standings here. I mean, that is a huge lead to have with just 3 games to go through as well before we crown our champions. But looking at all of those duos inside the top 5, we've all seen them have big games. So we know that they all have it up their sleeves to not only get the victory royale, but also put up a huge amount of elims. So, Martin, I mean, looking at those leaderboards at the moment, I mean, where's your money heading into these final games?
I mean, honestly, I think Sate and Saf they just set the bar for the next couple of games. They're showing that, all right, we can get 13 eliminations, and that's a lot of points. So now the other players will be thinking, hey, we need to step it up. We need as many eliminations to actually climb up the leaderboard.
So think about the game just before this, though, because Cripper and Boyer had 13 eliminations, and they came in 2nd place. Obviously, it's not a huge difference between number 1 and number 2, but that just shows, like, if you're at the top and you can pull off a match like they just did, you're going to shoot up the rankings. 92 points, that is huge.
And that puts pressure on the chasing pack now. And obviously, as you say, Martin, somebody now has to have a huge game as our duos competition continues to roll on. A big performance there from Saf and Zate. We've got 3 more rounds to go today. We're going to go for a break. Don't go anywhere.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Why are you watching me when this could be you?
I wrote that skin.
ESL Katowice Royale, featuring Fortnite, is brought to you in part by Intel, HyperX, and PlayStation 4.
Welcome back once more, ladies and gents, to the ESL Katowice Royale, and we are getting closer and closer to crowning our duos champion. That's right, we are into round 12 of our competition now. Obviously, we've been focusing on these duos for the last couple of days, but before we get into our next round, we thought we'd ask our duos a little bit of a question, saying, if you could team with anyone, not just a Fortnite player, who would it be?
That's an interesting question, actually. But, well, I already have my perfect partner, so that would be it.
Same. Okay. For me, Hulk, because when I was a child, I look every film of him, like Avengers.
I'll take Mickey Mouse. I'll take Minnie Mouse.
Have you a reason for that?
Nope. Why not?
Just want to play with mouse.
I'd probably pick myself, which I kind of already have.
I don't know, I'd pick like a Jedi of some sort from Star Wars, like Luke Skywalker or something, I guess, yeah. I'd probably pick Gandalf, because I just get him to use his spells on some of the opponents.
Chifu. I think might grow for me. Yeah. Nikov. I really want to play with Majin because I always watches his videos in YouTube, and his play is really perfect, and his strat is really crazy, and his building is so fast, and his play is really flex. Right, I respect him.
I'd probably pick Mr. Savage.
Yeah, I've been playing with him before, and he's really insane at the game. So it would probably be the same for me, Mr. Savage.
Way better than any superhero.
Yeah.
If I could pick anyone in the world to be a duo partner with, it would be Elon Musk. Yeah, I think it'd be fun to play Fortnite with. Maybe he could give me a Tesla, you know?
Mine would have to be like John Cena, I guess.
I have to do this. I have to do it. I'm sorry. This is what the guys are playing for. We're all sat here doing the whole "you can't see me" thing. Smart place from production there to not show our face. We do that.
Well,
great
you
to hear
can't
that.
see him, so he's a great.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, it all kind of fitted together quite nicely, didn't it? My favourite thing from that was the X2 twins. I'd like to play with myself. Wait, I pretty much already do. But Luke Skywalker, good choice over Anakin, because we all know what happened in the
You know
high ground,
who's really happy about that package for now? Adam Savage backstage, thinking when they say Mr. Savage, they mean him. Not you, Adam. Sorry,
Adam.
my friend.
I mean, it might be. We don't know. I mean, technically, I mean, but yeah, definitely not. Anyway, let's talk about the last game a little bit, because I know that you were, both of you, we've had a little bit of time to sort of recap on what we saw in that end game, but break it down for stress, because I know that you are bursting at the seams to break it down.
That last play of the game was incredible, and we've got a little bit of time in between the games where Baller actually went up to the guys and went to Zayt and he said, you know, what happened then? Zayt said, oh, we've been planning that. We've been practicing it. We've actually played that strat before. And that is one of the things I love here this weekend, is the evolution of competitive Fortnite, bringing in set plays, bringing in the changing of drop zones and seeing how other players play over a long stretch of time. And it's beautiful. I love watching it. Today's games have been so hype.
And obviously, we've seen a lot of hype games, but we are really getting down. I said business time, but I don't know what it is now. It's like it's serious business time is what I'm going to rename it. I could probably do better than that, but we've only got a few games remaining here. We talked about how important having a huge game in these final rounds is. Saf and Zayt with a 92-point lead now. Interesting to think about. We were thinking about the start of the day with who was going to drop on the leaders and maybe try and cut them down and keep them out of the points. Do you think that maybe the pressure now goes onto the chasing pack and we could see some changes in drops again?
I mean, yeah, I believe so. I believe we'll see way many more contested areas and just a whole lot of Wing going on. And that's what I like, you know, like if... like just pushing people, snowballing, making it to the end game, that's my type of gameplay.
I like the mix where you see players do that in specific games, right? Where they say, okay, the pressure's on, now I have to make sure I get to the late game or make sure I take an area better in the early game. Like, there's so many things in play here when it comes to different dynamics that players are starting to learn where and when they have to change their play style.
But you can't get too desperate either. Like, if you're too desperate, you're just going to fall on the short end. And yeah, you just have to stay composed, and if you're going to W, just do it right.
And the interesting thing is now, obviously, we've only a finite amount of rounds left. We've only got 3 rounds left to get through today. That means there's only a certain amount of points realistically available. So we need to keep an eye on that gap between first and second place, because if that extends to a certain point now, you've got to think that maybe this could be wrapped up.
Yeah, it may very well could. I'm glad we're taking a look at some of the leaders here, as we saw Vinny and Zextro on your screen before. The thing about that is now I wonder whether people will start dropping on Zate and Saf here, like, because now they've got 92-point lead. That's almost identical to the lead that Vinny and Zextro had, and that lead has now gone. So if the players backstage now between rounds 11 and 12 have said, let's take a look at where Zate and Saf are dropping and see if we can mess with their game a little bit, that now is that key question as we go into our last 3 games.
Yeah, I can certainly see that happening. We've already seen it happen a few times today, but enough chatter from the desk. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into our round number 12. Just 3 games remaining today. Gentlemen, take it away.
Round 12 of the ESL Katowice Royale is live, and we're riding on with Saf and Zate, and oh boy, if other people are dropping on them, this is going to be the closest thing we've seen to a pub game start with everybody in Tilted Towers. But for now, they're drifting up. We've seen them drop so many times around Loot Lake, so nothing too different on this start for them.
Still contested here, though, over at Viking. We do still have Zextro and Vinny not changing it up. They worked out for them last game. And yeah, they're contested. Might be a rerun here with AIM Hero and Fax Fox.
But they'd learned. They'd actually brought the gameplay in where it's saying, okay, let's not full-on loot. Let's just grab what we can and take a very smart fight. Meanwhile, some of the other leaders here, Cripper and Boya, very high up on the standings, getting a llama to start this game off, gets those materials. And this is a fight we're going to keep our eyes on all the time, because Zextro and Vinny, same plan as before, sitting back, but Fax Fox and AIM Hero are doing a similar thing themselves. They say, okay, we lost the last duel, we have to be more careful, because for AIM Hero and Fax Fox, this is about them also climbing up the leaderboard. It's not only about denying points, because at all times, each player has a 5-point bounty on their head for that elimination. So even taking out the league leaders, you get those points, you rack up the scoreboard and try and get into that top 20 to get the earning placements.
That's right. And we see a little bit of slower gameplay going on over there at Viking, just taking their time, farming up some mats. They were falling a bit short on mats the previous round. So yeah, a better change up. Hoop against Kicks here of it, lucky.
This is a very interesting fight because it's the opposite end of the scoreboard that are actually fighting down in that last 5 position. And realistically, the bottom end of the scoreboard, one game lifts you right
earlier on the map here, we had 3 teams in Tilted, we have 3 teams in Dusty Diva, so it does look like players are changing it up a little bit, and yeah, I hope we can see some of that action going on very soon.
And that means Bizzle and Demo have extra competition over at Dusty.
Yep.
Aiden and Nick Merckx, we've talked about a lot over at Tilted, sticking to that game plan for the most part, so they haven't really got a whole lot of points from it, but that's that aggro play and how it's a lot trickier to make it work in this points format, where a lot of the points are in placements and then mixing in eliminations alongside. So this is a very, very precarious engage between Zextro and Vinny. You can see everybody just peeking, but not committing to a fight yet. As AIM Hero is trying to get higher and higher, can't quite find what he's looking for, and his loadout is pretty sparse right now, enough to get the job done in close quarters, though.
Yeah, and I'm quite surprised to see AIM Hero and Fax Fox pushing up a little bit here. They do not have any shields. Vinny and Zextro, they do have pretty good inventory going on. They have good inventory, they have shields, and as soon as they land a hit on either AIM Hero or Fax Fox, they'll notice that they have no shields, and they will just start to push up. Probably Metro going down in Tilted.
Metro down very early as Marky and Ryux, another duo that we haven't seen too much from this weekend, actually picking up a big elimination for themselves. This is what we're talking about. A few elims can change the complexion of the scoreboard as we go into the last couple of rounds, as Marky takes a lot of damage from Jules and Mies. As they're going to build down, try and trade some of this back, but that's Jules getting dropped as Ryux was able to put him down, and as he goes into the box, who's going to come out ahead? It's Mies is going to drop Ryux. There's dynamite ticking somewhere.
Just going down too quick, just taking that elimination for granted. Not something you want to do. Stick with your teammate, push up together, and secure the elimination.
Jules goes down from that dynamite. Second elimination from Ryux as he drops down to try and convert the duo for that third of the game, and he's going to play this slower, going to try and just own this entire area, almost boxing Mies in like a rat trap here at this point. But look, Mies has found his way out of the trap and is trying to turn it back around from himself. Klingers has another one, trying to disrupt this, does tag the shields, and look at how low Marky is. Marky thought he maybe had Mies completely trapped, but it's gone the other way.
Because I like how Marky just rotated around that area and picked up all of the loot as it did, but he did end up losing high ground over it and trying to make his way out. I'm not sure if he's want to engage or yeah, he does want to engage, and he reclaims high ground.
He's got that compact SMG here as well if he wants to shred through some wood. Does get damage off at first, and now the hunt is on for Marky as he tries to go. Two big things popping up in the action feed as Zexro has eliminated Faxfox. That was the fight over at Viking that we were tracking earlier on, but that fight will persist for a long time as they've actually dropped all the way away from Viking on this exchange, but they're still in the safe zone because it's focused down in the southwest of this map for the first zone.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure they, as you see, Zexro has 2 eliminations, so they clean up Viking, making their way down here in Stadium. Kuna is alone. We know his teammate Metro.
Whoa! Mies taken out as Marky secures the 3rd elimination for the duo.
And we were talking about this a little bit. After, when you have a standoff going on for so long, you start to feel a bit more comfortable in your area. But as soon as the team, as soon as the opponent just jumps on, like we saw, and just it's unexpected. Yeah, it's unexpected, right?
Unexpected, and unexpected to see only one of the X2 twins on your screen at first, but you can see that's because Jordan and Jesse split as Jesse has the high ground. I was kind of had that moment where I'm thinking, no, has one of them already fallen in this game? They have to play together, you know, but definitely still both in it. Has that Chug Jug if he needs to heal up, but for now, not really worth just for that 50 shields at this point. Maybe if we see them take that trade, we might end up using it.
Yeah, and Jesse and Jordan here, they do want to continue hunting. They are on the hunt. Sipan taking some hits there. They're rotating through the river, which is really risky, but using the mountains to their advantage to get that line of sight.
Yeah, trying to use that hand cannon. You know, that is painful when you're running along and somebody manages to line up the perfect hand cannon shot, and you just, oh, well, I guess I'm down now. Always painful.
Keol is here taking some hits over from Hamlet, I believe, by Violin, and Windwalker tries to go for the snipe up there, up on X8, but does not land it. Keol is here moving together with his teammate.
X8 taking damage from another side, though. You can see after not falling to what was essentially a bit of a quick scope, X8 does survive to fight another day. You can see Violinen and Windwalker out to the side. So heavily contested area, but remember, this is in the zone that we were talking about. This is all safe areas for the rest of this first storm as it closes. We'll have to see how much of it actually stays in the safe area. And this is a very dangerous place because so many people have snipers. So many people have long line of sights.
Yeah, it's a very open area. It makes it very difficult to rotate around, as you do have to use those materials very efficiently to make sure you don't take any unnecessary hits. Look at this, Cloud is landing and turning around with that heavy AR and landing a hit on Jar.
Yeah, it's trying to just line up as much as he can as people are floating down on the gliders. Here we go, new zone is going to be centered around Shifty and Polar, as we see Nero and Tajovski fighting. Tajovski has a lot of support from the crowd here in Katowice, Poland, and yesterday was on a real tear in the early game. You can hear the crowd react to Tajovski. Careful with the cannon now,
careful,
my friend.
Tajovski.
Careful, don't make this a Niet moment, as he's going to fire himself into the zone. This one looks a lot safe. The crowd are behind him.
I'm surprised he hasn't developed some sort of phobia for these cannons, but well, you know, if you're scared, you're not going to get anywhere. 7 SSK and Jamside in a little bit of a skirmish here versus Ares.
And we didn't see 7 SSK, 7 and Jamside in the last game, I feel, but they have been doing exceptionally well over the last few, you know, rounds. Yesterday specifically, like 7 SSK, 7 had the eliminations racked up. It's only today that we've really seen the big numbers they put up. I think they had 9 in one game. That got obliterated in the last 2 games where Camo and Zayt and Saf both put up massive numbers for themselves. And
very consistent indeed. But let's see if they can make their way out of Salt here. Oh, goes down by Jamside.
Yeah, Jamside's going to try and convert this into elimination, but he's got to be careful because he's a little bit in a treacherous position as well, as Ares is trying his best to pick off anyone that he can, but runs right into that shotgun, and Ares is out of round 12.
Lands on 4 eliminations and looking really good with the inventory. But we see Fa in history here. They hear that there's been a fight going on and they want a piece of the action.
Yeah, the vultures circling to try and pick off anything that they can from the scraps, and that's history. Getting knocked down, they've bitten off a little bit more than they could chew. As Far now has to 1v2. It's Jamside and 7 SSK7 trying to convert this, and Bizzle and Demo in the action feed have dropped as well. Another one of our league leaders that we've been looking at all the way through. You just saw it in the top of your screen confirming that elimination. As Far is trying to bring history back into the game, but look at 7 SSK7. He's knocking on that door, trying to find anything that he can. This is a long red. Storm Surge does become active, but 7 SSK7 hasn't been able to convert it. As Far actually eliminates him from the game. Mistiming out of the Russian and Belarusian duo.
And I mean, Jamside's still...
he got it anyway, right?
Yeah. And Jamside's still alive here, but I did see Lolito and Exisma just hanging out right outside Salty, making their way into the zone slowly, and will probably guard the edge of the zone. So that may prove troublesome for Jamside in the near future here.
Going to be a tricky fight to make his way through. Beehive and Coffee trying to close in on our current points leaders of Saf and Zayt, but they're going to be able to launch pad away. But do they take any damage in the air? Doesn't look like much on offer, as Zayt does get clipped once, but he's able to settle himself up with some brick around him, and now they're in for the slower game. They've kind of playing very well in the late game, and I think that's one of the duos that we've seen have massive strength the later the game goes.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, just about now, their confidence is at an all-time high. They know what they're doing. They're just playing very slow. Can get into those fights, but at the same time, they are pulling out of the fights when they feel like, all right, this might not work. Let's just take it slow and yeah, move to late game.
So one thing that we've seen pop up in this game is that Storm Surge warning to be active, and I think players are starting to play a little bit around it. They're starting to realize in the early game, yes, we have to play for placement, but we also have to deal a little bit of damage from afar. We've got to tag people, and I think that's that adaptation that players are starting to realize with this specific format.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, with Storm Surge, you can choose to fight on your own terms. If you do get those early fights going on, you raise the threshold. Oh, look at this. Coffee is already down and Beehive is making his way out.
Easy elimination at the end of it for Saf, as Beehive had backed himself away. So Saf and Zayt on the board for round 12. And we'll see whether they can get that elimination game up as high as last game, because that was one of the best performances we have seen so far here at Katowice Royale.
Sino and Envy here with looking pretty good. 2 eliminations already. Does have the launch pad in their inventory, as well as some healing. Looking pretty good with mats, but they are by the edge of the zone, and there's a lot of players over here, Stress.
There are so many players congested in this area, and we'll see who makes the first move. As Sino and Envy, as you said, launch pad is there, should they want to use it. Camo and Issa around as well, so everybody in the mix of things on this northeast side of the zone.
Decides to use the launch pad eventually, and that means they make up the sound of the launch pad, notifying other players, hey, launch pad nearby, free rotation, let's recycle.
It's basically the Pied Piper, really. Just all the rats just following in the air, just get to safety and keep themselves in the game. As Nikov, you know, won the first game of the day alongside Airwax today. That was round 8, so they've started to perform a little bit more consistently on this second day, being allowed into the game a little bit more when it comes to these late games specifically, so I'm happy to see them doing well, as they were one of the duos that I predicted would do well. I know you've had a lot of experience watching and playing alongside them in some of the competitive games that we've had on Europe, and they seem to be doing quite well, but 72 hours, this is as far from European as you can get, as this NA duo is trying to lock down a few more eliminations for themselves. Can't quite find the angle, and that, for now, should be the end of this engage.
Has a rocket launcher, will work in their favor. However, only one rocket, so that's not a lot to work with. We do have another team here. We do have Liquid Vivid here together with Poach, just hanging out nearby. We'll probably decide to capitalize if someone goes down over here.
All the Liquid fans have their heart in their mouth right now because of just the way that they're bunching together. They don't want to see a team kill, but at this point, they really could just use any points that they can get, and that's why you're seeing so much crossfire come through. Everybody looking for these picks as the rotations start to come through.
And as we see, a lot of more aggressivity going on over here as the circle starts to move into the zone. And like we mentioned earlier, players do have to pick it up a bit here. We've started to notice a bunch of eliminations in the same for the same couple of teams. Domentos over there by Greasy River, all alone, knocked in the zone.
This has been perhaps one of the most aggressive games we have seen, where everybody's just trying to tag everybody at all points. Like that slow period of that third zone hasn't really come to fruition. There's been constant gunfire coming through in this area.
And look at Chap and Poach, 72 Hours and Chap over here. They did use I believe they used the launch earlier, but they ended up on the edge of the zone. So that's a clear sign of them just going all aggro and trying to pick it off as many eliminations as possible. See Seth is sitting above them. Obviously, they don't know how damaged he is, but if they find out, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, they may very well have tagged him, but look, Chap now has to be careful, as that's one of the things about this situation. You can see Vivid and Poach were looking over there, and I think Vivid, I don't know whether it's a heavy sniper specifically, but that wall dropped very quickly, and then the follow-up fire. That's the difference between duos and solos, is you can coordinate very, very well to take down a wall and instantly follow up with damage.
Yeah, that's right. Some explosives going off here as they try to open up some walls and probably get some hits up. We know the Chap, he is sitting on a rift to go, and yeah, there's so many explosives going on, and this is just like the edge zone guarding going on.
Oh, just in time. Oh, just in time getting them out of there. That was a very smart use of that Rift to go, because Vivid and Poach had almost 100% locked down those eliminations if that RPG had hit with the dynamite combination. But now Vivid and Poach have to turn their attention elsewhere and look to get themselves further into that safe zone.
And the circle is, I believe the circle is over by Polar Peak, which is a scary area. We haven't really seen that in the tournament so far, but it's not the favorite of a lot of players. Heading into a replay here, Stress.
Oh, and this is Zexro and Vinny. This fight we were talking about, how important that was. Aim Hero ended up falling, and then Zexro from the high ground was able, by the looks of it, to pick up the pieces. Faxbox, there is no running away from Zexro when he has you in his sights. Looks like he was able to convert that, as this was Jamsite and 7SSK7 nearly ending up on the bad side of an exchange. Nikov and Airwax out of the window, trying to pick up as many eliminations as possible. They will be looking to climb the points and upset Zayt and Saf, who are sat over 90 points in the lead in first place.
Storm Surge is active, but a lot of players have dropped already. There's only 56 players alive, and we're heading into the 5th circle, which is a bit lower than we're used to. We see Jordan in 72 Hours going down there in the action feed, and Lolito as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned how many fewer players there are. This is what we were talking about with the fact that this has been an aggressive game. This is just insane action all the time. Everybody's peeking out of windows, trying to find anybody they can. And as I said at the beginning of this game, every single person, whether you're at the top of the leaderboard or at the bottom of the leaderboard, you are worth 5 points when you get eliminated. And that is why people are starting to go so aggressive.
That's right, we do hear a nade launcher popping off there somewhere. And as you saw on the map in the bottom right corner, look at this, the mountain goating here by the edge of Polar Peak. This is bound to get real interesting, real fast. And Trip and Boy are doing really good this game as well. As a nade launcher and just firing it down on whatever team was down there, just camping it off.
Oh, I wonder whether we're going to get to that mountain climb, as people are going to have to build up, utilize the vertical game as well up the side. The terrain, this is one of these moments where it actually has that impact, and you can see some of the players that get left behind and straggle down at the bottom will get caught, and they will end up falling to the zone, because you have to beat the zone up that mountain. Otherwise, it is incredibly difficult. You basically have to choose to fight if you get caught in the back.
Yeah, that's true. We do see Poach and Vivi going down in the action feed by Krippa and as well Eric. Just a beautiful spot here by Krippa and Boyer. They can just see everything from here. Ooh, beautiful hits. Kites are almost down. Very, very low. Krippa and Boyer currently ranked number 3.
Look at this position.
Another elimination. Now they're up to 3.
That position just peeking out through the floor and just getting this beautiful angle. That's what we were talking about. They made it up on the high ground early, and that means everybody has to come towards them, and there's so many exposed angles, so many people. Zextro did just fall, as I think that was Airwax and Nikov were able to get an elimination there. Animal and Aspect are still up in this game as well. Another duo that is hovering just outside of the top, I believe, trying to make their way into the leader position. Vinny on his own for the rest of this game now, and he's got to try and recoup that 90 points that they had coming into today and ended up losing because of the way they got challenged very hard at Viking.
But they are within the points. There's 23 teams left, so at this point, if you're solo, just stay along for as long as possible, get those 3 points, and yeah, you might be able to rack up some points. And the circle, we just saw in the bottom right corner again here that the circle's moving up far north by the edge of the mountain once again.
How tricky is this zone? Looking at it, it looks like it runs right along the outside of the mountain.
So it's going to touch. It's going to go through the mountain, right? It's not going to go around. So all these players on low ground are going to have a real issue getting up unless they have a rift to go.
We know there are a few on the field and there are a few launch pads that are already down, so there will be a little bit of assistance. You can see people starting to fly up and make their way around, but it certainly is a whole lot trickier. There we go. The mountain edge cuts directly through the safe zone, so we basically are split on 2 levels completely here in the game, and the subsequent circles are going to determine it, and the RPGs from the high ground are going to do it as well, because it is so difficult to build up, and you can see that come into effect by how many eliminations just racked up. We lost Smeef, we lost Vinny. Vinny has dropped in this game, and who is still there? Sinnoh and Envy with the absolute high ground now at the top. Zayt and Saf up there as well. Boyer, Krippa still alive. Margins down at the bottom. There's a few other duos left in this, but this is a very tricky situation to be in.
The zone's going back. It's going back up on the mountain, so whoever's on top right now will have a clear advantage.
Yes, and as you said, it is back directly over the mountain, so now has to be the rift to goes, and we've seen them already. So for Saf and Zayt, they are okay. They're in a fine situation. They don't have that ultimate high ground, but they may be able to retake it from Sinnoh and Envy, who dropped down. I wonder whether they don't have the materials to build over the top.
We saw Boyer going down there as well, probably so Vindy's down. Violin trying to clutch it out, but they are at the bottom of the mountain. There's no real way to get out of there unless you have a rift, like we mentioned.
Zayt and Saf are going to take this fight against Envy and Sinnoh right at the top. It's Aspect. They're trading as much as they can. It's Aspect comes in on the side. Sinnoh up to 3 eliminations for himself. This is such a compact fight at this point. So many people have been dropped down at the bottom, including Nikov. I'm looking to see whether Airwax is still alive, his duo.
And Zayt and Saf, they have high ground once again. Just look at their inventory. It's looking really good for them. And oh, Krippa going down eventually.
There's that high ground. It was Saf that picked up that elimination, and they are doing an incredible job. They are the only team so far to pick up 2 victory royales, and they could very well be closing in on another. X8 drops in on them, but does he drop? He gets knocked down. X8 doesn't convert it. Now they are just guarding this high ground.
You can't challenge the kings of high ground without getting punished, and look at that. They're just holding it. They have 6 eliminations, and they're going for more. They're up to 7.
And they still have the high ground despite dropping, because they're going to try and use this RPG to pick off as many as they can. Zayt, I believe, did get the elimination credit for that. He did, as that was Razaru, and Zayt and Saf are having the games of their lives as they are up to 8 eliminations. They are 90 points clear already on the field, and this is a fantastic performance.
This is just insane to me. I do not know how this is possible at
Saf
this point.
just got Stompy as well. There's only 5 players left. 4 duos. It's them against the world as Vato is desperately trying to stay in this. Shinken is on the edge of the storm, and Zayt and Saf, they've played the late game so fantastically. They've used the rift to go to keep themselves alive, and they have the high ground. This is beautiful. They're letting Shinken and Stompy fight against each other for safety as this zone transfers across. They're dying to the storm. There's almost no real way way for them to get through in time.
They can just stay on top and just wait this out. Just look at that Shinken just fighting there, trying to hold on for his dear life.
They're trying to shoot it down to 1, as it's only Shinken that survives. Satan Saf are trying to convert, and they do!
Unbelievable!
3 victory royales for Satan Saf, and surely that's it. Surely they've put enough points between themselves and the rest of the field with an incredible round 12 win.
I don't know how they do it. It's just unbelievable. 3 royales.
It's
I have no words.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how they're doing it. They end up with the high ground. They end up with the fantastic position in every single game today.
They end up with 11 eliminations to boot as well. It's not as if they're just winning these games. They are crushing it when it comes to these final games of the day. And what a time to do it as well, gentlemen. Not leaving it till these final games. 2 back-to-back huge performances from these guys, and they have put themselves firmly in the driver's seat.
They were 90 points up, and they just chalked up, what, 120? 65 for a victory royale plus 55, I think. Yeah, 55 for 11 eliminations.
Can you even catch up at this point? The way they're going, I mean, at this rate, there's no way, right? At this rate?
I mean, they were 92 points ahead before this game, as we mentioned, but a huge game like that. And the thing to notice as well is, you know, Vinny and Zexro didn't have a huge game themselves, and they were the players that were looking to chase them down. You can hear the crowd. They're absolutely loving that performance that's just come in from those 2 gentlemen. But I think that is the question now. Can they be caught? Will we see a couple of teams maybe dropping on those drop zones earlier and trying to take them out of the game early? Because otherwise, this is theirs to lose.
Yeah, I wonder whether it has to be Vinny and Zexro dropping on them at this point. I wonder whether you have to try and claim the leaders for yourself for second place. What an incredible set of games.
Do you want to? It's dangerous. I would not want to contest them right now.
Okay, guys, well, I think that's enough from us. Let's hear from the guys who are absolutely crushing it right now here in Katowice, is, of course, Saf and Zay.
Thank you very much. Guys, your Game 12 winners, Zay and Saf. I mean, back-to-back, baby. This is just getting easy now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's easier and easier.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you're dropping the ball now. Only 11 eliminations this time. Saf, what happens?
I don't know. Had a lot of fun. It was a hectic game, for sure.
It certainly looks very chaotic at the end there. A lot of anarchy going on in the builds and such. First things first, I want to talk to you guys about your build-up towards this competition as well. I'm sure a lot of people are eager to find out about, you guys are clearly dominating the leaderboard right now. I think, I'm hearing my ear, over like 160 points in the lead, which is crazy. Tell us about your preparation for this. How much have you guys been practicing ahead of this event?
So me and Sav have been playing for approximately 4 months. We've been playing together every single day, playing every single scrim, customs, everything at least 6 hours a day. And we get our personal practice, another 6 or something. But yeah, at least 6 hours together.
And when you're playing together, I guess you're developing all these different strategies and things towards the end. We've seen a lot of great plays towards the end of your games as well. Are you making these things up as you go along sometimes, or is it all kind of predetermined stuff?
Well, certain situations are different and you have to do different things, but most of the time we know what we're doing and we just have to react to what someone else does and then try to get hyped, basically, Andy.
I mean, yeah, I'm hearing my ear, 160 points in the lead now. Do you think this is done and dusted, or are you still going to have to keep going right the way to the end?
It depends what people that are not in the lead are going to do, because I feel like people are going to start landing on us. It happens last game, so we'll see how it goes, yeah.
And it seems like Poland are loving you guys here as well. Isn't that right, guys? Saf, I've got to ask you, how much are you guys enjoying competing here at Katowice Royale?
Well, it's been awesome so far. I really like this format, and yeah.
I have no doubt we're going to see them again at some stage in the very near future on this stage again, guys. Give it up, your Game 12 winners, Zay and Saf. It's just unreal. It's just, 25 kills in 2 games. Mind-blowing, mind-blowing. Back to you, Mark. Crazy.
Thank you very much, Adam. As you say, it has been a crazy couple of games for those guys. And just a reminder as well, Saf, who stood there at the moment, he took home first place in the duos in the secret skirmish as well. So it's not just back-to-back victory royales. potential back-to-back duo tournament wins for this man.
I'm actually shaking still at that end game of how clean they've been. So clean. Everybody says, you know, end game, it's messy, it's so difficult to determine who is going to win. Well, Zayt and Saf have got it figured out. There is absolutely no team that has performed this well in the end game.
They're so modest as well. Their interview yesterday, yeah, we got lucky, found a window, popped a nade in there, and today got lucky, found some people, pumped them, got the match. But I mean, this is not luck. This is pure skill.
As carried away as we are getting with the two performances that we've just seen from this duo, and rightly so, it has been phenomenal. Just take ourselves back 2 games.
Sure.
And we were like, okay, this is super close. It's 3 points between the top 2. And then all of a sudden, these 2 big games. But that shows we still have 2 games left today, even with this incredible points lead that they have, currently sat on 711 points. If they do not make it to the end game, if they fall out for whatever reason of those placement points, this is still a competition that they could lose.
Absolutely, and this is where, as they were expecting, or as they said, they now have to expect people to drop on them. And I wonder whether Cripper and Boya look at that and say, okay, maybe it's us that has to go. Zexro and Vinny, maybe they say, okay, maybe it's us that has to challenge them, because if they're left alone to even get points at this point, it's very difficult to chase them.
And that's the point, is that you need, it's not just a case of taking them out of the game at some point. You have to take them out early, because it's not just placements. You can't let them get those eliminations either.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to drop them too early in the game. You can take it slow and then try to counter them later as you realize where they are. But I mean, Trip and Boya, they've been doing really good. They're in every end game.
Yep.
They're super consistent, but they're still like 150 points away,
and that's
which is insane.
That's got to be the frustration for these guys at the moment, hasn't it? Because they're playing so well, and they're just being pipped to the post at the moment by this incredible duo. Gentlemen, we think it's time for a quick break from us, because we've got 2 more games to get through. Back-to-back victory royales coming in from Saf and Zayt, though. We'll be back in just a few.
Thinks he can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Why are you watching me when this could be...
This is so you. Classic you. And this could be us.
This is all waiting for you! PS4 for the players!
ESL Katowice Royale, featuring Fortnite, is brought to you in part by Intel, HyperX, and PlayStation 4.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Katowice Royale, and it is crunch time in our duos tournament right now. Two huge performances just coming in from Saf and Zate have given them an incredible lead heading into our two final games. Now, before we get into our two final games, however, we want to just test the creativity of some of our players, I guess you would say. We basically asked them, if you could create a skin in Fortnite, what would it be? Let's take a look.
I would add a liquid jersey. That's what I would do. With my name on the back or something, yeah.
Some sort of invisibility cloak would be good. No limits.
Oh my god.
That'd be fun, yeah.
A Spider-Man skin. If there was one skin, it'd probably be a ghost skin. Maybe something with like ghost logo, and I'd wear that all the time. That'd be my favorite skin.
A lady with a mask and then black skin with like gold details, I think.
Probably pick like a massive just tomato with eyes, and that's literally it. Just hovels around.
For me, I think, you know the old comic Spider-Man, like when you see the graphics actually moving, but it's like comic book drawn out, and it looked like it just wasn't fitting in the game, and I reckon a skin like that would be pretty good.
I'd probably do a skin that's kind of like the Matrix, maybe, and like it's changing colors with the letters going up and down, something like that.
I don't know if you've ever watched SpongeBob, but you know Plankton? Yeah, his wife, I'd make a skin like that, where it's like a robot that's like their face is a monitor and it has like reactive stuff. That'd be cool.
Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
I actually tweeted about that. I want a Goku skin that's reactive, so every 5 kills you go like Kaioken, Super Saiyan 2, 3, and so on and so forth.
Like I know it like because my name Chinken comes from an Austrian called like meal. It's like pancakes, and I would make a Palchinken skin.
I want a Robin Hood skin, because I'm called Bowman. So I need a skin with a bow or whatever, and I'm fine.
They're just such creative guys, aren't they? I love that, and better ideas than I could probably come up with. But this is what it's all about, gentlemen. The 2 trophies that are sat there waiting for 2 of these players in this duo competition to pick them up. Welcome back to the desk, everybody, and we've got some fresh blood in for the end of the show. Welcome to the desk, Zacubus. You must have been chomping at the bit to get up here and get involved.
Oh, am I so... Oh, my God. It's just too hectic. Those back-to-back games coming in from Zap and Safe. Oh, I fear for their lives coming into Loot Lake, coming into this game, because they've got, you know, they have this massive lead, but I think everybody wants them gone straight away.
And Stress, you've been shaking in between games there. You've had to calm yourself down a little bit, just take a few moments, and this is exactly why, because those 2 performances that got you shaking have put Saf and Zate firmly on top of the leaderboards, around a 160-point lead there. But Cripper and Boya, they are the ones that could potentially steal this away with 2 big games of their own.
Yes, it's remember that the 2 duos under them in the standings need to not only do well themselves, but then eliminate Zate and Saf. Now remember, we are going up to 20th place for earnings, so all of the names you see still need to perform. They still need to keep going and keep their position in the top 20. This is not just about first place. A lot of it is. Zate and Saf have kind of claimed
we've only got 2 trophies to give away, right?
Yeah, right. But for every other duo, you still are playing for those placements. You still are playing to place yourself in that top 20.
Now, Zacubus, put yourself in the position of our team that's in 2nd place at the moment. Do you risk it in this game? Do you think about changing your drop and going for that top spot?
Oh, I don't know. This is the question.
That's not why you're here. I want an answer. I want a yes, I want to know.
Okay, I'm giving you an answer. I think, you know, if you're going for the win and you're dedicated for those trophies, yes, jump in on it. Go full ham, go for the commitment. But the problem is that it's a landing that you're not familiar with. These guys know how to fight that spot like no other. I mean, they took out Mitro and Kuna already. You know, they've already forced them off their home drop. So they're not to be contested with.
Right, and that's the interesting thing, because if you do it and another team does it and everybody else drops there, now that's a bit of a messy situation to be in. So there's a lot of kind of almost the you know, when you have to decide rock, paper, scissors, what do I pick? Because is it the right one? Because you could play a passive game and somebody else takes them out.
Well, should we find out? I think it's a pretty good idea. Round 13 is about to get underway. It's the penultimate game of the ESL Katowice Royale.
It absolutely is, and I wonder whether Zay and Saf will say, no, let's drop somewhere else. Not for now. They're going over Divot. We'll see where they land over towards the lake if that is the case. Because that would be one way to mess with everybody, would be change your drop from the beginning.
Yep, I mean, it's a smart move, Stress, just like, you know, go completely incognito, just hide as long as you possibly can in the worst possible drop, get the worst loot, but you might be able to survive long enough to actually acquire some points. But is anybody chasing them in Loot Lake?
Not yet. There are a few teams landing in the peripheral area of Loot Lake. One team up towards the block, two teams in Pleasant. There's one on the other side of Loot Lake. I wonder whether that is Mitro, but on screen we just saw Vinny take out Aim Hero incredibly quickly early on in the game for that first elimination. So Vinny and Zexro have said, this is our area, and we will maintain control over this area, regardless of who drops.
I do love the story behind this area, you know, with Aim Hero and Faxfox coming in, trying to contest it. against the two best players in the tournament? Are you mental, Stress?
I want to see Scram. I want to see his face right now because he must be biting his nails just waiting for them to bypass. But nevertheless, the rest of this game continues. Zate and Saf, they're in a fight already. Who's it with? So we haven't quite seen... It's Cripper and Boya. Now this is a massive engage because this is for the top of the points. You can see it. Cripper is going to drop. Cripper has already been downed as Boya has the RPG, but he knocked Zate in response. This is such a massive, massive moment in this. And Saf, did he just get Cripper? No. Yes, they get the elimination on Cripper, but Boya survived.
It's still a one-on-one. I think Zate is down, but Saf could get the pickup here.
There are more people around, and that is what makes this a very difficult situation. Yes, Cripper and Boya are now down to only
Dynamite.
Dynamite is ticking, and they haven't really got a sight on it. All of this cover is getting shredded away as Zate has fallen. For the first time in a very long time, neither both Saf and Zate are going to make it to endgame at this rate, because look at how many people are closing in on them.
Sticky's coming in thick and fast there as well from another third party. Eric and Motor on the side there, but Boya really wanted Saf there. He had an opportunity to take out the leaders and potentially get his team above a little bit, or catch up at least to that point lead. I mean, we're still not even in the points yet.
Saf is trying to reposition to a more comfortable place, and he's got Boya right next to him. Switches up the inventory to make sure he's got that legendary heavy shotgun, but Saf nearly gets shot in the back. Llama's going to try and position himself closer to the fight, but he had to protect himself from power. Scram is still there. Scram is still in this game.
Mate, he could just stay there all day, mate. This little pyramid, he's basically a pharaoh. He just tuned himself in.
Well, Saf is still
Став закидывает. Кого он закидывает? А кого он закидывает? Я не понял, кого он закидывает, но пофиг. Сав закидывал постройки липучки. В тупую пошел просто строить лестницы. ДМО Бизл сидят сбоку горы. У них мало очень инфы, так что пофиг. Виникс сделал Зекс Роу, заняли самое лучшее место, это ХГ на горе. Офигенно так. Кингстер и Хантер только что рашили просто. Кингстера накоцали, фул броню ему сняли, половину хп. Очень сильно накоцали. Сав перебежал в зону. Немножко почти осталось. Ему еще одну корову сделать, он будет в зоне. Бойер пытается зарашить Никова и Эйрвокса. Закидывает ракетницей. Бойера, скорее всего, убьют, у него нет хп, ничего. Ракеты, походу, еще тоже плюс закончились. Сав сидит, выцеливает Тракса. Повер с Жаровым перебегают в зону. Кана и Митра отстраивают коробки, просто бегают рядом с Кингстером, еще с кем-то, немного не понял них.
There's going to be some switch rounds, I feel, this game's Stress. I think this leaderboard is going to change dramatically through
Кана и Митра очень хорошая на данный момент позиция. Только из-за того, что их вообще никто не стреляет. По ним вообще никто не стреляет. Камо, Иса жмут 39-ю команду, я не знаю, кто это. Лама переигрывает самого себя, Ляма. Я не знаю, Кнычек, я буду говорить, Лама переигрывает там, дохнет или в зоне, нет, в зону он не мог сдохнуть, ну, скорее всего, или от зоны, или разбился, или сам себя просто взорвал. Каму убивает Чапа, добивает Чапа. Кейзер убивает Никова, Ников, что-то там, короче. 72 ХРС вроде кого-то убил, или мне показалось. Да, 72 ХРС кого-то убил. Сав до сих пор жив. Мэджин умер от молнии. Я не могу понять, что это за молния. Митра, Кана до сих пор живы. Митра хлопает. Вот. Митро, Канов, фул хп, все у них офигенно просто. Стаффу, то, что дали в лицо, Зексроу убивает Свенус. Винисит, Зексроу еще живы, красавчики, пацаны. Саф перелетает, его коцают на 100 хп. Хантера, жмут Хантера, убивают. Кана с Митро файтится с Томпи и... Тот самый ник, который я никогда не мог почитать. Black Soul с The Week отстроили коробки. Провайд еще кто-то, короче, тоже. Нет, ССК с этим вроде сдохли. Исакама. Кого-то там... А, нихера, Джемсайт и ССК еще живы. Боже, красавчики, пацаны, давай. Ну если они еще их вытащат, то красавчик. Аспект убивает Бумана. Фанк-бомб убивает ССК. Все, ССК не жив. Добивает ССК. Джемсайт убивает... Там не понял кого. Все, ССК не жив, Джемсайт остался. Клауд и Миф до сих пор живы. Миф 20 брони осталось. У Клауда все хорошо, у него фул броня. Виникс отхилялся. У Зексроуа ХП 80. Зексроу и Виникс заняли лучшее место, это ХГ. Но они держатся только на 2 лестницах и все. Зайт и Саф на первом месте, но еще 711 очков. Блять, 2 топа подряд. Каждый минимум по 10 киллов. И уже там минимум. ВП лучшие на 4-м месте. Вчера они были на 2-м месте. Джемсайд вроде еще жив, должен быть. Энви убивает там кого-то. А, это тот самый ник, который я как раз никогда прочитать не могу. А никогда не переключиться на Джемсайд, ищем Джемсайда. Альфа еще жив. Бизл, ДМО еще живы, жмут. Синух. Я буду вот так называть, переигрывает самого себя. Энви убивает Ису. Что там? Нейт убивает еще кого-то. Рядом с Альфой бегает Саф, который находится на данный момент на топ-1. 711 очков. Аспект убивает Клауда. Синух как-то еще раз самого себя переигрывает. Зевик убивает ДМО. Энви убивает Альфу. Все, Альфа уже не жив. Саф убивает, блядь, Мифа непонятно как, нахуй. Что творит эта машина? Если он сейчас возьмет топ-1, это 3-й топ подряд будет. 3 топа подряд на турике из Сэм Католиц. Фекси нокают. Остается Доментос. У Доментоса 110 хп где-то. Аспект с Animal, Rush, Зексроу и Виникса. Кана остается один. Нейта нокают. Бизл нокает как раз Нейта. Саф поставил батут. Просто улетел нахуй. Офигенная позиция у Саф. Он сейчас налегке может взять топ. Доментоса тоже пока все очень хорошо. Нормально там Доментос. Все, Доментос сейчас будет жать уже зона. Сейчас будет все очень плохо у него. Было все хорошо. Саф может сломать, попробовать дать хедшот. Сафа убивают. Митро убивает Сафа. Виникс лежит нокнутый. Энимал коца самого себя ракетницей. Или мне показалось? Митро умер. Аспект Энимал еще жив. Зексроу хп 20. Или стрим Black Soul, который недавно брал топ-1, который был недавно в топ-5 входил. Соло Турика. Энимал и Аспект берут топ-1. Лучшие. Красавчики. 6 киллов на команду. Каждый по 3. Нормально. Разъебали. Хорошо сыграли. Молодцы. Надо, чтобы Фекси с Доменсом выиграли, вышли. Вот они сидят. Довольные.
Incredible stuff then from the duo of Animal and Aspect. But, I mean, fantastic stuff from them. But we need to talk about a couple of things that happened in that game. One is Saf does not get eliminated. He stays alive. It doesn't matter how many players are trying to cut him down. He will stay alive, and he will pretty much, with that performance, those points that he gets on the board, and he still managed to pick up eliminations on the way. They must be not just one hand on the trophies. They must be pretty much entirely surrounding them at this point.
We will get the points. Scram was the one that eliminated Saf. So after Saf and Zayt...
Ладно, все, жду следующую катку, отключаюсь. Отключаю звук, микро, попозже еще. Как начнет следующая игра, снова будем комментировать. Ой, я знаю, что звук. Я специально все отключил. Давай, Димон. Панара. Че, на какой сервак пойдем? С модами? Дим.
Хочешь.
Да мне посрать на какой.
Я также.
Давай с модами. А у тебя на турну-то лагать не будет?
Нет.
Все идеально идет, да? Дим, все идеально
Вроде
идет?
как.
Красава.
Вроде как, да.
Сейчас 165 Гц поставлю. Скоро новая мышка. На этой неделе уже, по идее, должна. Ну, как минимум...
Скоро будет играть в Fortnite.
Да, я буду стримить Fortnite, учиться на новой мышке играть. Я G902 возьму, как у Манграула.
Оставшиеся деньги.
Что? Смотри. И мы сейчас заказали уже одну мышку. Это G303, я тебе говорю, которая на Амазоне стоит 25 кусков. Я нашел у нас в Москве на каком-то вообще непонятном сайте за 1300 рублей. Ну, мы вчера заказали, вчера не могли позвонить, потому что они не работали вчера. И сегодня они не работают. Завтра, скорее всего, позвонят, скажут, когда привезут. Окей. Потом, до среды нам должны позвонить по поводу той мышки. И сказать, когда примерно мы сможем ее забирать. Понимаешь, да? Вот. Мне возвращают деньги. Я покупаю G402 за 4200 рублей. Покупаю себе коврик Нави за 1800 рублей. Еще покупаю мышку за 1600 G303. И потом на оставшиеся деньги я ищу кран для микрофона. Ну, да, который, ты понял, такой палка такая. Ты понял, Димон? Вот. Чтобы на софте прикрепить. Если он мне мешает, просто его отодвигать куда-нибудь. Что заебался с таким микрофоном.
Сколько у тебя останется?
Косарь где-то. После всех покупок. Даже, может быть, 0 останется. А, нет, где-то косарь останется. Я нашел уже кран за 2000.
Косарь ты куда потратишь?
А? Че, Дим?
А косарь
Маме
куда
отдам.
потратишь?
Маме отдам. Так.
Я бы купил... я бы задонил.
Так я мама их все равно забрала бы эти деньги. И так уже там, блядь. Я куплю 2 мышки, коврик, экран. Блядь. Вместо одной мышки я покупаю 2 мышки. Экран и еще эту хуйню. Блядь.
Зачем тебе?
Что
2 мышки?
Одна, чтобы играть, вторая, чтобы была, G303. Но это просто легендарная мышка, поэтому я пизда ее хочу. Я как у Шрауда ее увидел, я сразу сказал...
На полку.
Ну, а почему бы... Нет, на полку не буду. Я могу ей не пользоваться. Реально поставить ее на полку, а потом перепродать. Через 5 лет где-то. Она очень дорого будет стоить. Если она сейчас на Амазоне, я ее еле-еле, блядь, нашел. Я перелазил с сайтов 20-30, нахуй, чтобы просто найти эту мышку. Только на одном сайте была эта мышка. Так. Kid X10 Good. Заебись. Я захожу на сервак, сейчас я тебя приглашу. Ну, нормально, там ВП отыгрывали. Мне понравилась игра их. Пизда как. Они прям охуенно отыгрывали. Они каждую катку доживали до... этой... Короче, до конца почти доживали. Охуенно. Если, например, ССК убивали, Джем там уже до топ-10
Сейчас приду.
Где, блядь, этот ебаный бультарас? Ля какой. 1500 FPS. Тупо, что творит этот пожилой молодой Сандей? Я думаю, у этого, у Нинджи Сабдей. Было бы прикольно. У Нинджи Сабдей, а у Сабдей. Поднялись еще на одну ступеньку перед решающим раундом. Шансы попасть в топ-10 хоть и небольшие, но есть. 16 место, раунд 13, 14 очки, 366. У Doginz и Фекси.
Понятное дело.
Наконец-то, блядь, зашел на сервак. 200 FPS пока. Здесь нужно ставить все на минималке, чтобы не просто было, ну, не то чтобы комфортно было поиграть, а эти, чтобы, как сказать, ну, типа это решает. У тебя нет никаких лишних херни и все такое.
Кузя! Кузя! Да, я тут. Я попробую как-нибудь через тебя присоединиться. Этот профиль скрыт. Я не смогу к тебе присоединиться.
Блять, я тебя пригласить не могу. Короче, напиши сервак hyperx PvP House.
Yes.
Что так вот сделать?
Не. IP можешь сказать.
А?
IP можешь сказать.
Сейчас скажу. Я делаю читерские настройки. Нихуя не чит. Сейчас, погодь. О, слышь, даже отключаешь, типа ставишь воду на минималках, и ты можешь через воду налегке всех просматривать. Вот это прикол. Еще один, погодь. Куда я, блядь, нажал? Ща. Да. Стрим отрублю.